static. That's the one I want.
Is that AoE?
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's fireball with psychic.
Oh no.
And also it does cool shit.
Yeah, but that's with concentration and stuff, isn't it? With disadvantage on concentration checks.
I believe something of the sort.
Okay.
You subtract d6
Oh, that's not too bad.
from the concentration.
Hey, if I'd use that on Bern, it means he can't natural 1 and still succeed his minimum DC
8d6
concentration.
psychic damage on an intelligence save, which quite frankly I've come to realise very little has intelligence save bonuses by way of monsters.
There's a reason it's a minor stat.
And I am a class that will take pure advantage of the weakness.
That's why maybe that's why Mystic's so powerful, because the entire thing uses intelligence saving throws.
Yeah. It is 5th level though.
Also true. Anyway, hello and welcome to Crabby D&D. I am here with my players. Harlan.
Hello.
Sam.
Hello.
Simon.
Oh, whoa.
Hello.
Damn it.
Jamie.
Hi.
And Infernal. You're quiet,
I'm
Infernal.
sorry.
Hello.
There we go. Perfect.
I'm sorry. I fucked it, guys. I said hello instead of a whoa.
It's fine. It is technically
gone.
Suds' turn,
No,
but
no,
he's
no,
not here at the moment.
We decided last week that it was my turn, and that was my fault.
Now, if I just roll one of these dice,
Please no.
it's fine. Magic will happen.
Yay, magic.
Oh, Harlan, what have you done?
Ta-da! That's what happens when you got physics turned off.
The fuck? Oh no!
That was your own doing.
No,
I
that was
didn't
my
do
job.
that.
Oh, well, it wasn't me. Oh, well. Anyway, so yes, I'm here with my
I
players.
guessed who it was?
I wonder. All right, usual announcements. Thank you to Znosa for all the artwork, including some of the new ones come through, which I am looking forward to actually showing off. Oh, saw the name of my lovely boy. He's a wonderful thing. Can't wait to use him. Of course, I'm talking about the Prince of Blood, guys.
Well,
King of Blood.
King of Blood.
Use his proper title. Use his proper title.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, by the way, guys, have we ever put any thought into joining the Prince of Blood so we don't have to deal with Chris's bullshit?
or just
Elsyan has genuinely considered it, then realised, nah, probably wouldn't. You know what? He'll need people to rule certain parts of the world because he can't do everyday ruling.
I think that the Prince of Blood will probably accept it, as I'm the only person that can technically kill him. If I'm on his side, then, you know.
No, here's the thing. He probably won't accept you any closer to him, because if you're closer to him, you could more easily...
It's fine. All he's got to do
kill
is
him.
fly 15 feet off the ground and can't do anything about it.
No, my one
Really?
weakness.
Can't he?
And that's why I know
I don't know.
Earthbind.
I mean, with the help of Elsyan, Queglod, actually I can. For a very short time.
Yes, this is true. Anyway, hey, if you want to do that, that's perfectly fine with me. You can certainly try. So yes. Also, thank you to Tabletop Audio for all the free music and sound and everything. Everything you hear that is used here is Tabletop Audio. I've switched entirely over to them because they are a wonderful thing, and I'd recommend going and checking it out because it is all free. Battle maps, there won't be any this session, but in the future, if there are any, or you see any, like this wonderful tavern, it was made by me and Incarnate. You can go and check the making of this out on the YouTube. I have a speed build of this, sped up to take 12-15 minutes, so compared to the 3 to 4 hours it took me to make some of these. So, it's not too bad. So yeah, I think that's everything. Don't have any more announcements unless anybody wants to say anything, self-promote themselves.
I would
I'm
like to
Sam,
self-promote my power.
I'm Sam. I'm 22, almost 23 years old. I'm very lonely. That's it.
Oh,
Hi, I'm Harlan. You should join my lonely fans.
That's good. I'm gonna use that.
And all,
What sort of content do we get on this Lonely Fans?
well, we have single Pringle towers like this.
Of course, yes.
We have a large number of ready meals for one cooking shows.
Do you
What
have
am I
any?
looking at here?
Do you have any brunch for one?
We do, but it's honestly just going to McDonald's and getting the pancakes with bacon.
Oh, that reminds me of a deal we were doing this year. Sorry, this is a little bit of a side topic, but you know.
Okay, we're already on the side.
Yeah,
Let's
I
just
know.
keep going.
At my place of
we're
work,
100%.
at my place of work, they decided they were going to have a new product line called Valentine's called Meal for One, because they wanted to include those who weren't going to be spending Valentine's Day with a significant other. And it was like, that's just mean.
That's just reminding people that they're all alone.
I know. Anyway, we have D&D to contend to. We've
Do we?
stalled for Sudz long enough. Yeah, Sudz may be running late or he may not be here. We don't know. When he shows up, he shows up. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Nothing I can do. It is daylight saving hours in America, so, you know, that does happen. But anyway, with that all out of the way, let us remind ourselves what happened last session with our party. So, last session, our party of adventurers. Elsyan, Queglod, Sasha, Malcom, Bern, and Rook. After making their way to the Barrenlands, meeting with the Queen, watching Malcom get beat up by the Queen, and making some bets on the side before losing them, the party otherwise began to relax in the Barrenlands, taking some very much needed time to themselves and exploring the city. Some of them finding their good friend Osbone, someone who would sell them much of the many things that they might need for their various achievements and things that they might want for acquiring an easier method to complete some of their goals. With this, the party spent a fair amount of its money, party being Elsyan, Rook, and Bern, as they explored Osbone's wares. After that, and after some
spells.
Yes. After that, and some significant planning on the party's part inside of Elsyan's tower, which he's currently renovating, but in the moment borrowing one from the Dawn Marshal, who previously owned it.
I've already forgotten her name, and I'm ashamed.
Tristan.
Yes.
Spending some time there and proceeding to understand the nature of what they're getting into with the Prince of Blood, the party begins discussing various stoppers they're going to pull out, debts they're going to pull in to stop this world-ending crisis, it seems. And with the escalation of what's occurring, they need to prepare themselves, and so they do, planning and otherwise spending a large portion of time thinking about all this before resting for the night. Some of the party go away and do various things, talking with allies, conversing and otherwise acquiring certain goods. Rook returns to Adamanthia, and otherwise spends some time with Gabby, his griffin, forming that bond and otherwise meeting with some of the other members of the Church of Steel. He forms a bond and otherwise talks with the members of the Church of Steel there about potentially needing help with this Prince of Blood, now turning King of Blood. With this much-needed help, one of Rook's allies there, Nagriel, the champion of the Church of Steel in Adamanthia, offers to help him, in return for some of the treasure at Webval's lair, of course, and as a result is now currently waiting on the party's arrival to tell him when they will be leaving. Bern calls in some debts, some favour, and spends most of his tokens within the Sanguine Sun to acquire particular goods and services needed to otherwise achieve his goals. When you finished all of this, Bern went down to see Gree Grindel, the associate and quartermaster for the Sanguine Sun in Adamanthia. Speaking to him and drinking Webval's blood, he learnt various pieces of information, disturbing information to be sure, one which he believed to be best not told to the party at this current moment. With their current predicament with the King of Blood on the horizon, another threat such as this is best left unchecked for the time being, that its wording shouldn't stifle or stand in the way of what comes next. one step at a time, as recommended by Gree. With this, they returned, back to the Barren Lands, where in Stalagnes they rested once more in the tower, spending some time there. And as they each left for the early morning, beginning to prepare their spells, morning warm-ups, exercises and stretches, and eating their breakfast, they hear the sound of horns from the outside, the call to war. The call and the preparations of the oncoming attack of Orc Marauders. Okay. So, as you currently sit within the inn and eating your regular breakfast in the morning, the tower is still up, and it will last for 24 hours, so you've got plenty of time to go back there if need be. But you finished preparing your spells for the day, so go ahead and do so. You've benefited from a long rest, so you are fully rejuvenated. And you're ready for the day ahead, when the sound of a horn is heard in the distance. A few horns, in fact. And at that moment, you watch as Malcom kind of stands, turns to the rest of you all, and says that you have to go.
Okay. Fair. Guess to get ready. I'm gonna check I've got everything.
Wow, Malcolm, you really sound different today.
Look, alright, it's been a tiring day.
No, I get that. I get.
Get Sasha, cast less restoration on the poor man. He's cut his throat, obviously.
Well, no. Honey and lemon is the way to go about this.
No, Sasha needs all those spell slots. I mean, I definitely won't just be casting
not
Call
you
Lightning,
guys with.
because I don't know any of his other spells. I know he wanted to cast Firestorm, that's the only thing I know.
Fair.
You know what's really funny?
I mean, he was like Sunbeam and Moonbeam or whatever.
Yeah.
Queglod's going to be there casting Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, and she's going to be
Like,
taking
we're
them
all-
down, one at a time, infinitely, because the rest of you
mean,
just used all your big spells.
Okay, right, I've got
If
a
it's any
thought.
consolation, Rook has no spells.
Can we just make one thing? Can we just have, like, Rook hold up Queglod and use her as a gun?
I have a
point
giant bird.
I like the thought of this is suggested at the table. And Queglod says, "I've got a bird. I don't need Rook."
I don't need Rook.
What you're saying is Queglod is holding her action on her turn, and the condition is when Rook presses the
What I'm
trigger.
hearing here is that...
Here's the image in my head. Avengers Endgame, where Winter Soldier picks up that Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they just spin in a circle, blasting.
I had a slightly better image.
Oh no, I have an image.
Queglod's on the back of Felipe, flying through the air, but she's flying close to the ground, with Rook being hung upside down from Felipe's claws, just swinging wildly, taking off heads as he goes.
No, consider. Queglod in Felipe's claws, like shooting down like an orbital strike drone.
She doesn't need to do that.
Jeez.
Anyway, with this, Malcom otherwise gets up and says that you all have to leave. Shattercrest behind, otherwise running behind Malcom as he darts out the door and up the stairs. As you are otherwise leaving, you see your little goblin friend otherwise leave and make his way out as he was rushing to the door where you were as you all begin to leave. I assume you're all going with?
Yeah. Got
Yeah,
weapons,
absolutely.
armor.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
You make your way...
That was, I'm muttering spells to myself. Ignore.
Okay. You otherwise make your way up towards the central chamber, and you see the Queen of the Barrenlands otherwise standing off to one edge, looking out across a balcony across the horizon. You see that it is a bright and otherwise sunny day with a few clouds in the distance. Regular day that it has been almost seemingly the same every day for the past week that you've been here. You see that each of the clans have gathered, and you see that one of them has fully armored himself. As you see the lizard folk leader there otherwise walk up to Malcom and otherwise states that he will join Malcom on the battlefield. Malcom looks around the rest of them and begins to pick the leaders of choice. He goes over and he chooses the Clan of Clay, the Goliaths. He speaks to him, the Goliath nods and begins to gather his clansmen. And you see him also go over and choose, I believe his other choice was, the Tazuki, going over and choosing the Clan of the Moon, as they proceed to move down with the rest of their group, preparing to move out. The Queen of the Barrenland stands there as Malcom goes up and has a few safe words with him. Moments go by. You can see off out on the edge of the horizon where the dusted sands and the heat is beginning to rise, warping and shifting the horizon. You see the dots beginning to form, the dark greens upon the orange and reds of the horizon. Malcom turns to you, nods. Let's do this. I don't want any of you to hold back. I want you to prove that you're worthy allies. And Rook, try to lead the charge. Take down some of the big things if you can.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Wait. Rook, what if your wife finds out you're doing this?
Well, then I'll have reinforcements, potentially.
Round 2.
She'll
Wait,
understand.
There's a
We're doing it
sandstorm
in her-
coming. But what's that in front of it I see? It's just Rook's wife bolting across the savannah.
I like the
Power
thought of
stride in.
we're actually sending Rook in just so his wife will come in and stop him. And the best way to stop him is defeat the enemy army.
Yeah. It's like, I didn't realise the clan of Horn were coming. No, it's just his wife. It's,
And my wife.
It's enough.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, I will make sure to take down what I can.
Okay. So, with this in mind, I'm going to draw a little bit of a quick battlefield just so you understand what's going on here. These are all of you. And these are the squads of what you're going to be looking at. Each of these squads are otherwise conjoined. You're going to have the lizard folk individual in the back. Assume each of these areas is otherwise around about 20 feet. But when you're calculating spells, assume they're 10 feet for you, because I don't care. This is just because, 200 troops packed within a 40 foot by 20 foot is a bit packed. So, I don't know how he wanted to do this, but he's not here, so I'm going to do it how I
Gotta
imagine
love
this
some
is going.
slither boys. Some Goliath, some tall boys.
And these guys I'm going to put at the back, but they're otherwise several hundred feet in the air.
Feather doggo boys.
Okay.
You guys have the shamans at the front.
I'm shifting things around.
No. Just let them have the shamans all the way up here, and then the
Yes.
trolls all the way back.
The air elementals are up above.
Yeah, shaman's right in front of us. Yes, that would be.
I'm just going to do
Actually,
that.
could they all be lined up in a line? Just so I can get one shot off, so Queglod can
They could
snipe
be
them.
in a 60-foot cone.
Could they just be like a straight line? They could all just line up perfectly in a straight line, so I can do lightning bolt, and they all die.
Then if they could form an orderly queue in front of me, that'd be really appreciated.
Could they wait their turn to be killed, please?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
The shaman's up at there. Okay, that is what you're looking at currently with the battlefield. This music's too happy.
Cool.
Hold on. You know what? This isn't a serious fight. I'm just going to put the rap battle on because it's a fun one.
So to clarify, each
Sorry, the what
person
battle?
is about
Rats
10
battle.
foot. Is a 10-foot square.
Each tile is roughly 10 foot square. So these guys, in theory, they'd be back about this far right now.
Okay.
They're quite a distance away. The army otherwise prepares itself. You see the it's quite loud. The lizard folk otherwise approach, moving up and preparing themselves. They have their shields raised up in front of them, large spears, and each of them wearing kind of this dense plate and scale armor that otherwise covers the majority of their body. Each of their helmets is decorated with these large curved horns, and you see that their leader otherwise stands behind them, just wandering about, otherwise talking to each of them. Malcolm's going to be flying a little bit above, and otherwise watching over all of this. And this is what you currently see. Is there anything you'd like to do pre-combat?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask whoever looks like they're in charge. So, last chance, I can turn everything into a cracked wasteland so in case that would make things better for everyone.
You're not gonna cast Earthquake. Oh my god.
Fine.
I will say,
Okay,
as
like
you
Sasha, at some point, I promise you'll get to cast Firepoint at some point, Sasha.
as you are mentioning that, Malcolm mentions that these lizard folk, although they're tough, they're slow. Doing that will trap them and will probably mean that they won't be able to do much, which is a negative to them because that will cut out, 600 of your currently 700 strong force.
Well, okay.
No,
Just before I want to know that just before like the armies meet, I want Elsyan to cast Illusory Dragon.
Okay. What is the
What
range of illusory dragon, and what kind of dragon?
That's an important choice. I'm thinking red, not because I see trolls in their army at all. No, not at all. It doesn't matter at all for the damage type.
I mean, one thing to note, they are mountain trolls, which you don't have any experience with. You don't know
Fair enough.
how fire interacts with them, if it does the same as regular trolls.
I'm going to assume, until proven otherwise, trolls.
Does it? Is it
It's
an
120
adult?
feet range.
Does it appear as an adult or an ancient?
I believe it appears as a huge. It is an adult.
So an adult. Good to know. All right, that'll do.
that thing will draw a lot of fire, I imagine.
I like my
And that's the point, because it cannot be hurt.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So we'll say once it gets within closer range, or once they get within closer range, I'll let you place this and where you wish to place it.
Yeah, once they're within 120 feet, I'm going to cast it.
Okay. Are you staying back here? Keep in mind that you're like 5, 10, or 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 feet away from the front line.
I mean, I always like being on the side a little bit, just so I have good eyesight.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm
Because
here
you can fly, you can
Flying
choose.
in the air.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm flying in the air.
Take this, and then and then put yourself on top of it, and I will assume you're always flying.
Yeah.
Actually,
And I would like to, when the two armies are like 100 feet, the main armies, away from each other, I would like to double bombard this with a certain 2 spells. Well, 1 spell twice.
oh, Chris, that's the point. Flyer's concentration, isn't it?
Correct.
I'll ignore that one.
Queglod and Sasha, you are the only two who haven't moved.
I am getting ready to cast Firestorm.
Okay, I will probably stay back for the most part with these flying ranged characters.
Okay.
That fits with me.
The
I
general...
do just want to say to Malcolm before we begin, if at any point you want to attempt a pincer movement, move something in behind their army, that is something I can do. Probably be best used with a small force, since Arcane Gauge is not very wide.
Send me.
He...
Send Rook!
Malcolm turns to you and goes, that's probably a good idea. Do you want to stay with the Goliaths? I know you could use Felipe. Do you want to move up with them? I'm planning to have them fly over and drop rocks on them to begin with.
Very well then. I'll follow their lead.
Someone needs to take care of the air elementals, though.
Well, I will do what I can, but they fly, so that's going to be difficult.
I've got a dragon that can deal with that.
Nice.
Okay.
My plan is to go full balls to the wall with the trolls.
Yeah, my plan is to like shoot 1 beam here, then 1 beam on this side, and then hopefully the explosion destroys everything. It's a target creature, so I can just twin spell it to 2 people.
Okay, guys. In large battles, you generally either get subtle tacticians that know how to use the land to their benefit, or us. Blast them with whatever we've got and hope for the best.
The party. And so I started blasting.
That's what I started blasting.
Okay, so
And
while
so I
you're
took out their nukes.
while you're all getting into position, and as they begin to move forward, they move forward at a slower pace so they don't wear themselves out. But they do move forward. At this moment, they are... So they are 150 feet away from you. And
Is that just the air elementals?
that's
or...
just the air elementals. The rest of them are 190.
And each air elemental is a large creature, correct?
Each elemental is a large creature. There are 10 of them in each squad. They have 24 health each, which then, when you times 5, brings that to 120 health each.
Right. I'm going to wait for the orcs and mountain trolls to do my thing, because it'll probably just be more dangerous if I want to get as many people as possible, because it's not going to be like super high damage.
Yeah, Malcolm's going to be preparing a firestorm for when they get closer and within range.
Cool. I'm going to invoke the gauntlets.
Wait, he can cast firestorm as well? Oh,
well, you had a level up, and he now has access to 7th level spells.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah, because he's only 2 levels in monk. Which is
No,
good. It's a big step for him, but
yeah.
And he has the description written in. Perfect. I know what it does.
Which means he's allowed to use it.
Yeah, he also has it prepared.
Oh, actually doing something a player should do.
Yeah, he also has Windwalk and Sunbeam. So.
Oh, I love Sunbeam. It's just.
Yeah, because it's a concentration spell for a minute, so he can just fire it off in a 60-foot line each turn. So.
Yeah, nice.
So he can carve through some of these if he wants to with Sunbeam. All right,
do it.
So you were going to wait until they got closer, correct?
I'm waiting until I can get a firestorm on all the orcs and trolls.
I'm waiting for these guys to be 100 feet, and then I blast.
Okay, in which case I will move them there, because at this point, when the air elementals are 90 feet away, and these guys are 130 feet away,
they're in range.
These guys are going to start moving up to fly overhead. So at this point, they're around there. They are extremely high in the sky. You don't see them except for the casting shadow of the large one flying over, which is an armored rock.
Yeah, I'm like 200, 300 feet into the air as well.
Okay, will that affect your range of your casting?
No, it's 600 feet. You made it 600.
Did I?
Yes, you did. It's 600 foot.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because this spell's used for bringing down fortifications, but it has surprising effectiveness against small armies. So.
Yep.
Funny enough, I'm not shocked.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay.
So, with this, as they begin to move up, you begin to watch as rocks begin to fall, otherwise hitting the orcs in the back, beginning to otherwise bludgeon them from a distance as they begin to move over before repositioning themselves behind the rest of this, drawing the air elementals away from the rest of this all, keeping the shamans and the air elementals busy while the rest of the force moves up. And in terms of the damage that they do, I am just going to, because I can't bother to do the health damage to this, I'm just going to delete these and I'm going to copy this one.
Wait, what changed? Oh, okay.
They lost some numbers. I haven't bothered changing their effective health because but otherwise they have pelted this lot with rocks, doing 25 points of damage or 25 unit damage to the front and 50s to the back ones, as they begin to move forward and move into a faster sprint at this point. So, at this point, they are 100 feet within range.
Hello.
Firestorm.
Okay.
Wind spell.
One at a time. I would like everyone to roll me initiative, please, for this.
Okay. Oh no. Oh no, Chris.
Yes.
What the fuck is it?
Help me, Chris.
It's your own fault for doing it.
It's fine. I knew this would happen. 6.
15. Oh, sorry. 16. Illusory dragon.
Oh, 15, and I'm waiting until everyone's done their thing.
You know what? I'm going to start with a fireball.
25 to 20, everyone.
Good dragon.
Okay, fine.
20 to 15?
Oh, 15.
16.
Malcolm, I'm sorry, you got a 4.
Yeah.
That's what he gets for not being it.
So Elsyan got 16?
Yes.
Who's the other one who got a 15 to 20?
I got 15.
You got 15. Okay, 15 to 10. 10 to 5.
9.
6, 9, and Bern?
3.
3. Okay. So, let's put this in order real quick so that I know where everybody is. So, going at initiative 10, because they are an army, they are not a lair. They are going there. Right. Let's see. Oops, I made a mistake. That's fine.
Damn it.
Okay, so beginning of this round, as you're all preparing your general spells, Elsyan, you're first up to the draw. As you see them becoming in range, you can see across the distance the thousands of orcs in the distance. The large mountain trolls running alongside them, otherwise carrying these large rocks and preparing to lob them. As you see the air elementals split off and begin to fly towards the Tazuki, who's otherwise controlling this back line, it seems.
Ah. So there are Tazuki that are in charge, are there? Just anyway, yes, illusory dragon.
Okay, where would you like to plonk this boy down?
I'm gonna plonk him down as close as I can. I can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, just above them.
Above
I'm gonna
them?
have him above them, up, like starting here, facing in that direction, yeah, and just strafe down the line as best as it can.
Like that. We know roughly.
Yes, exactly like that, Chris.
Firing it off.
Yes.
Like that.
Sort of did. Yeah, just sort of going along the line. I do
Is it a line or
yeah.
is it a cone for fire?
It specifies it's a cone. It's a 60-foot cone.
So it will hit like. Do you want it to hit these 4 orcs here, or do you want it to catch the trolls?
Catch the trolls.
Okay.
I would like it to do it kind of as it's moving as a flavour thing. But bear in mind it is 60 foot.
Yeah, I know. It's just I've made it 15 foot just because obviously this is a larger battlefield with not 5x5. So
I gave you a 60-foot cone.
So theoretically it should be this. So there you go.
60-foot cone hits 104 units.
104 units, making that full maximized. Okay. And assuming their size and their density, we're okay. Go ahead.
Just coming.
Yeah,
and
they're all...
Go ahead and roll me the damage, and I'll start making some saves.
Okay,
I assume the DC's 18, or is it 20? Oh no, it's 20 because of your ring, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay. Do any of them roll natural 20s? No. There were 2 natural ones in there though.
Don't worry, it's only 25 fire damage.
Only 25. Okay. As you otherwise watch, the rest of you otherwise standing from a distance, you watch as Elsyan kind of going through his spellbook, flips to one page, and you watch as he pulls his hand back, this almost illusory image forming in his palm. As he thrusts it outwards, you watch as from the skies above, forming in this kind of shadowy essence before what's spreading its wings in this brilliant red as cinders flow behind it, this adult red dragon flies down, breathing this column of fire over them. It seems to do a very significant hit to all of them, doing a fair amount of damage, and to the ones in the middle it's getting fairly difficult, as the dragon stops somewhere over and begins to do a circle, flying around over the flying over them, back across the way.
I'm intending for him to fly around sort of this way to then go tackle these elementals.
Okay.
I forget how they work against fire, if they do or don't. No big problem to me, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay, so you knock them down by 25, so that's 5 damage per. So that knocks these regular orcs down to about half effectiveness. So you took out a good chunk of them there with that. These ones at the front, they take less damage because of their toughness, causing them to only take 600 each, which means they go down to 80. The trolls took again a fair amount of damage, but they do regenerate, so they will go down to 300 and they'll lose 2 of them. And then these ones who are already injured, because of unit size, go down to this. And they have this many left. These ones at the front, same sort of deal. Going down to that. And that drops them down to that. Okay. As the fire begins to bleed over them, otherwise catching the skin of all of them, you watch as they begin to reach up and patch away this fire which has materialized on them. As they otherwise pat it away, and you see quite a few of them are bleeding at this moment as they otherwise seemingly begin to speed up. Okay, next in the initiative, Rook. You're currently holding the line here.
Okay. Well, I invoked my gauntlets, so I'm just gonna fire. Can I fire them at multiple targets?
Yes.
Cool. I'm gonna fire 6 stars at 6 different trolls in this party here.
Okay.
DC 16.
I'm just gonna make 3 saves because I can't be bothered. So 1 success, 2 failures.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll me 2d6
per-
each. So just roll me 3 lots, and then just roll me the next 3. So 15 damage, and then roll me the next 3. And this one will be partially halved. So taking that, 15, 26. 26 plus 7 is 32. Okay.
Excellent. And I'm going to take out a potion of growth, and I'm going to wait until they get in proximity. So I'll hold that.
Okay.
That's. I'll get closer.
Okay, so you hold the potion of growth in preparation for when they draw closer. Got it.
Yep.
At this point,
Is it time to kill everyone?
they move forward 2, they move forward 1. The air elementals otherwise move in, various spells are cast, damage is dealt, I'm not going to bother with that. But the air elementals seem to be losing, shamans are otherwise untouched at the moment. Queglod.
Okay. Might as well start getting some artillery in before they get close. So, I will summon Big Felipe.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you going to be on his back, or are you just going to send him?
Yes.
Okay.
I will stay on his back for now, but I will have him fly up sort of here-ish. So still like
In the
very,
area,
very
but...
much circling around where the Goliaths are.
Okay.
It seems to make sense to focus the tougher targets rather than... I mean, I can't actually hit many people, but I can do... I can't hit as many targets as like a unit of like 200 people can, but I can be quite effective against some big ones. So I'm going to go against the trolls.
Okay. Go ahead and make me 3 attack rolls then, please. With a plus...
Assuming that's plus 10.
Plus
I'm
10?
assuming
Okay,
that's-
so 13 misses, but these 2 definitely hit. Doing 9 and 9. Nice and easy.
Oh, wow. What the hell?
So 14 damage per. Okay, because it is single target, you do not get affected as badly by this. So that is... does 14 each.
Yeah.
So that takes it down to 376, which is the equivalent of one troll. Okay. You watch as Queglod otherwise shoots off these 3 bolts towards Eldritch Blasts towards the trolls as they each impact. You watch as one of the trolls goes down before you watch as it begins regenerating and standing back up, but it otherwise doesn't seem to be too worried about the damage it's taken, but it will keep pushing on.
If I remember correctly, trolls die only if they're affected by fire?
Fire damage and acid damage traditionally stops regeneration. However, these are mountain trolls. You don't know the ailments which they're affected by.
Yeah, I'm just talking about general.
Okay. Well, I've not got a lot that would be effective against that.
Also, theoretically, you can just kill them by continuously pumping out damage, but it's weird.
Theoretically, yeah. For now, I will have Felipe use his Eldritch Plume attacks against the same targets.
Go ahead.
Just to see what we can do against these.
Go ahead. Okay, that's with
his
8.
to hit is weaker, I want to say. No, it's higher. It's plus 14.
So that would mean that all of them hit actually versus the mountain trolls.
Awesome.
And he adds his charisma mod to that as well, so that's plus 15, so that is 38 damage. Or 37 damage, rather. Oh, well, no, because he's got 7, hasn't he, rather than 5.
Yeah, it's going to be plus 21.
So that is
So,
43 damage. Nice.
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 Indeed. You watch as another one of the trolls gets pelted. It stops momentarily, kind of falling behind as you watch as its skin begins to harden and otherwise regenerate back into place, kind of weaving this deep tissue. But each of the impacts otherwise strikes against it, pummeling their form. Okay. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes, it is. I'll
Okay.
make sure I'm out of the way of Bern and the Goliaths.
Okay, Sasha, it is your turn.
Wait, when is the Infernal going? I thought
He's
he got more
initiative
than
3.
me.
I'm all the way down.
God.
I'm going last.
That's really fun.
I like how this party and friend group is full of people who care and love each other and don't laugh at
Right.
each other's suffering.
Well, I'm doing Firestorm.
Lack of speed.
I'm doing Firestorm, which is 10 10-foot squares of fire.
Okay. Keep in mind each of these squares is 10 foot equivalently, roughly.
Yeah, so I'm basically. Oh, sorry.
Yep.
I killed this one dude real good. No. What's the word? Elsyan did this side pretty good.
Yep.
So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to cover this side.
Okay,
And these are 10 foot,
10
just
would
this
hit all
entire.
of these.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In which case, go ahead and roll damage for me.
Okay, that's 7d10.
What's this, a dex save?
I believe so, but I will double.
Yeah, should be.
It is a dex save. Yeah.
Well, so far they're all screwing up on their saves, so... Oh, okay,
No.
one of them got a natural 20, that's a good start. And,
36 points of damage. So not on the, about average.
36 points of damage. Okay, that's still good, seeing as the majority of them have failed, except for the trolls and one squad of elites, so that's a pretty big deal. 36 points of damage is 7 damage per. So that would be...
Basically, I see a lot of people die.
7 per, hitting the number of them that they are hitting, you're looking at...
40 odd is the
so that would be around...
Oh, it also deals half damage, I believe.
Yeah, I'm just calculating what it would... Actually, no, that's a good point. So it'll be half damage for this squad, so that'll take them down to 520 health, which knocks them down to 65 units. These ones at the back, however, who are already on 300, they take a full 200 to the face. So they are now at 10 units. Oh no, 15 units, sorry. The trolls, how much damage was it again? 30...
36.
36, because of their numbers, they take double that. So that goes from 7 to 14 times 5 is 78 damage, I think.
Nice.
Okay, so that will go to a 5, so that, and then 70 takes that to that. Okay, that takes them down close to half. And these ones, who also failed, take the full 200. Knocking them down to 75 power. These ones who take 200 are knocked down to 60 power. Okay.
And now
As you cast-
Malcolm's going to do it all over again.
Exactly. As you watch as Sasha otherwise pulls up her shield and her hammer, and you watch as she takes the hammer and drags Forge Storm across the shield, and you watch as this column of fire rolls through from the heavens above, as you watch as another one rolls through the other way, as Malcolm is going to cast Firestorm similarly.
On the same targets?
On the exact same targets, yeah. So any that fail on this side are going to go down. Okay, so that squad's dead. This one takes half damage. They're still dead. Both of those guys fail. They take another 200 damage per. Due to the lower numbers of them in each, that means they take 150. Then down to 370. Gets them down to 45 each. Oh, I need to roll damage. Right. How much is it? 70, 10?
7d10, yes. You can roll mine if you like.
Yeah, it'll be easier. Ignore that one, it's unnecessary. This one, that is 38. Oh, would you look at that? It's like, what, one off of your previous one, so...
2, so...
2.
You know, that's a real big... That could be a real... That 2 could be a real big deal, you know?
Yeah, means that they go from taking... So, times 3 now. 14 times 3 is 42. So that puts them down to 13, which puts them down to 4 trolls left. And these ones... at the front, 1 succeed, 1 fail, and then the back 2 fail. They go down.
Not having a good day, are they?
No.
You're casting a bunch of big spells in a horde of monsters, and it's working out.
Huh. You spells for your purpose. We're really good at this.
Yeah, spells are really good at
We're
this.
using spells to destroy stuff. I mean, this is what we do.
It's like, this is just free range, just, okay, you guys, cut loose.
Okay. As this
And
happens,
loose will be cut.
as this happens, Bern or Malcom otherwise kind of lifts up his staff, and you watch as it otherwise begins to light at the end of it. As you watch as he points forward, and everybody begins to move forward in unison, as they are also going to march forward slowly.
If they move forward, we get out of the fucking way.
I'm just going to move you, Queglod, just so that I know roughly where you are, but I'm just moving them.
Yeah,
forward.
yeah.
Though I didn't
No, that's fine.
say I'd hold my action thing, I was. Will I be?
Because we're
counted
going.
by-
I'll say you can move forward with them. These guys move forward. They have increased speed, so they keep up with this. So they are moving closer within range at this point.
How close are they?
At this point, they're 40 feet away.
Okay, I would have taken the potion then. But
Okay.
And I'll draw my
Actually,
sword.
You know what? I'll just leave you there. Okay. Okay. Bern, you're otherwise flying above. You watch as the armies are getting very close to clashing, and you can kind of look down and you see this happening. As you otherwise crack your knuckles and begin to create these ethereal sparks in your palms.
Yep, I dive head first this way, and I'm looking at 2 juicy targets over here.
I'm gonna
twin
cast it
spelling.
right in.
Twin spelling.
One unfortunate guy over here,
Mhm.
and one unfortunate fan over here.
And
Okay.
then it just...
Okay.
Chain
What
reaction,
save is it?
It's a charisma save.
Oh boy, they both fail.
Ah, yes, orcs, well known for their charisma.
Yeah.
No. Back in a sec, guys.
Oh no! 73. Look at all those 7s and
Look at
8s.
those 7s and 8s! You rolled 7s,
Holy
8s,
shit.
3s, and 1s. You rolled a 1 and a 2 in there, and then the rest are 3s, 7s, and 8s. That's.
I like to imagine it's just like a party popper fest. You know.
Good luck calculating the boom damage.
Okay. Chain reaction wise. 1 unit dies, does half damage to everything, which is 73 halved to 35. They're already injured, so this squad's gone. As is this squad. Because they both failed their save. These nearby squads will take half of that damage, so this one will go down to 250 health. Which drops that down to 30. This squad's gone. As a result of that, this squad takes damage from half of this and this, so this one's dead. This one takes half again, so it takes 100. And that's where I will stop that little chain reaction there on that side. This side, on the other hand, the trolls are gone. The trolls are gone.
Nice.
There's too many explosions for them to survive. That did full, so that means that they take... As a result of this, that means they take 200. Oh no, because I don't think they can make their saves. That means that goes down to 10. These guys take 200, which drops them down to 400. Dropping them down to 60 units. This squad then takes each of the halves, so they take again 200. Plus they're within range of the original, so they take an additional 100. taking them down to 10, which brings them to 15 units left. Okay. You watch as Bern from on high, otherwise with these crackling palms of kind of this light blue and gold energy, which mix with this black and red in one hand. As he otherwise streaks them down towards two separate individuals, you watch as two individuals amongst them become this kind of immediate mini beacon, which burns into this kind of little kindling fire, which explodes in the area around. Sparks and fire shred through each of them. You watch as many of the orcs otherwise bringing up their flesh as you watch as it begins to melt to the bone, charred bodies otherwise flailing in this immediate eruption of fire. And you watch as hundreds of them collapse all in one go. Already damaged from the fire from previously, from the red dragon flying overhead, you watch as a large number of them are scorched and torn, burning and otherwise fall to the ground dead as you watch. What kind of damage is this? It's radiant, isn't it?
Yes.
Radiant. You watch as it otherwise streaks over the surface of the mountain troll's corpses. You watch as their skin hardens, blackens, and disappears.
Nice.
A large portion of their army has been hit. Okay.
No dare.
So, it now comes to the 0 initiative. These ones are in charging distance, so they are going to move within range.
What, Chris, what's the roll to charge?
You don't need to roll to charge. These ones can't charge, they just move forward. These ones, however, their morale is 0 now, so they are fleeing.
Wuss.
Morale checks, motherfucker.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just realising that this is just Warhammer, but... Yes.
The morale seems to not
But
have
yes.
changed on that.
Yeah, it's just, this is what psychers really are.
Yes, the spellcaster that ruin battlefields.
Okay, so with this being counter charge, Rook, you can move within range here.
Cool.
This squad is going to move around here to otherwise flanking charge, and these ones get to strike first. I would use the system, but Sudz isn't here, so oh well. So damage-wise, on average, they have a higher attack than these guys' defense, right? Oh yeah, they do. Okay, so these guys take on average around 200 damage. These guys take the same. They get to fight back though. And because of their previous numbers and their attack versus the defense of these guys, they deal 10% damage. Okay, so they deal... What's 50 times 6? 50 times 6 is 300. 10% of that is 30. They take 30 damage. Split amongst their two squads, that is pitiful. Alright. Troll gets a lot of attacks, it's versus their speed, so these guys will take a lot more damage, but there's less trolls, so take 50 damage. These guys take no damage and strike back, doing damage to the trolls on equivalent. Lower numbers, so have to do 25% damage. They did 200. They did 200, right? Yeah, they did 200, so they do 50 damage each. There's two of them, so it's just 100 damage. Alright. Start of their turn, they would heal, so I'll just take that to 120. Alright. This is your current battlefield.
Perfect.
At this moment, they're otherwise beginning to fight. You watch as they're beginning to clash, and you watch as this is going on. You hear a horn from the back over here. A horn is sounded from the Tazuki at the back. Malcom otherwise looks over and otherwise looks to the rest as Levo here otherwise ignites his spear as you watch as it fills with this electrical and crackling energy, as he otherwise takes a horn from his hip and blows it. He's going to move within range. Okay, Elsyan, top of the round.
Yes. Okay. Do they look like they've got this like situation here in
Yes,
hand?
they currently have the trolls, they currently have the 3 remaining trolls plus the orcs surrounded, and the rest of them are fleeing. And you know, and looking over, you can see the Goliaths otherwise raring to go as they're otherwise taking themselves, slamming their fists against their chests and drawing their battle axes, preparing to charge.
Okay. Question for Illusory Dragon, does it have to stay within the 120 feet of me?
If the spell doesn't specify, then no.
Cool. Yeah, Cool. So, Elsyan's going to stay where for his bonus action, have the dragon move towards this element over here. Because even Elsyan's not going to kill fleeing troops.
Party's like, but Elsyan.
It seems like such an Elsyan thing to do.
So, just
Okay.
just as a general note, so you understand exactly how this is going. Technically, 2 to 3 rounds of combat have been. So this would be you not necessarily controlling them multiple times. This would be you using them to full effectiveness to do as much damage as possible, taking time to breathe, analyze, and go from there.
Cool. I'm sending in the red dragon at this air elemental. Gonna see what else it can get. Gonna make it move up to the same height as well.
Okay. So it
Gonna,
moves
so I
up.
can do it.
I'm back. How badly did Bern fuck him up?
Look at the battlefield.
There's not much left of anything.
These 6 are running.
Yep, that's fair.
They were all set on fire and otherwise wounded. So they've begun running, and the rest of them charged, and they've since been surrounded. So, yeah, I'll say the Goliaths are moving up and preparing to charge next turn.
That's a thought. Okay.
As the red dragon otherwise moves up, it moves up within range of the air elementals, and there's only a few of them left. Go ahead and roll me damage, please.
76 on the way.
Oh no, that's a fail.
And that's 25 damage!
Consistency.
I know. Oh, and you know when I said Elsyan wasn't going to kill fleeing troops? I was correct, because Fireball has 300-foot range, doesn't it?
Probably.
Let me double check that. I know it does.
Come over there.
150 foot range.
150 foot? I thought it was more.
You're still
Huh.
within range to fireball them.
Yeah, I don't want to fireball the fleeing troops.
I still don't get this.
What do
Okay,
you
you're
mean you still
entirely
don't get
correct.
this?
Okay.
Well, the fact that Elsyan will not kill fleeing troops.
No,
This is-
no. Okay, right. You're correct, but you've got to realise Elsyan won't fireball fleeing troops.
Disintegrates
yeah,
one
fair.
guy for the lol.
For the lols of it. Eeny, meeny, you.
Okay, Elsyan's got to move up a little bit, but these guys can be arranged for synaptic static.
Oh no, that's just mean. Alright.
Oh, is it, Chris?
Yes, it is. Okay, in terms of what's going on over here, the air elementals don't stand a chance, even in melee range of these giant eagles and the armored rock behind. So, with the fire dragon's breath and the fact that they failed their save, they're gone. This one is badly injured over here, but outside of that, the orc druids are otherwise unaffected. Their morale has gone down, but outside of that, they are unaffected physically. So they're down to 100 morale each because they've seen the majority of their troops get wiped out, and they've lost some air elementals, which is their personal guard.
Damn it. Well, and yes, I need to roll damage for synaptic static. Bear with me. That's only 8d6.
Only 8d6.
32 damage.
Can-
Each.
Radius sphere.
20-foot radius for, yeah.
It's intelligence save, isn't it?
Intelligence save, yes.
DC 20.
Yes.
Can't do that. Can't do that.
Okay.
Ah, yes. Hammer of the Inquisition is back, but with a new name.
Alright.
And a higher
You watch as a large number of them otherwise grab their heads, they fall to the ground, kind of their heads bleeding and bits of their skull otherwise cracking open as they otherwise begin to fall forward and down into the mud below. Among the rest of the ashes of their cindered friends who still burn and boil amongst this battlefield.
I want it known that Sam has just realised that is a war crime. Elsyan doesn't care. You're right, Elsyan would kill fleeing troops.
Hey.
They were the
Get the
only
Elsyan.
thing in range that wasn't confidently being dealt with.
Killed civilians.
That's the Elsyan we know and love.
I haven't killed civilians.
You
School
killed an
children.
innocent old man.
I didn't kill an old man, I just made him go insane. There is a very fine difference.
The fact that he happened to die shortly after is completely unrelated.
Okay. Rook,
Okay.
make me 9
So-
attack rolls.
Yeah, sure.
Because this is technically a bunch of turns, and yeah. Given that you have them
Don't call them a
surrounded,
bunch of turds.
they are a bunch of turns. All right, go ahead and roll me.
Right.
Just roll me 6 to begin
Right,
with. Yes, except for these two. Actually, no, except for this one.
Fair. And then do you want me to do 3 more?
Yeah, 3 more.
Oh, don't worry about that.
Except for these two miss here.
Cool. Okay, how many d6 do I need to roll?
Don't.
Don't even bother with a d6.
Nope. No, there's no point. As you, okay. Yeah.
And d4,
As you otherwise rock up, the rest of you watch as Rook otherwise reaches back, draws his blade, and begins to run forward as he slices through each of these mountain trolls one after another, kind of taking heads as he does. You watch as the spears of the lizard folk, who are otherwise lit with this lightning energy, strike down on them as you watch as their body begins to sizzle and portions of their exterior begin to crack as they can't regenerate from lightning damage either. As you otherwise take them out, you begin to move forward. Yeah. These two... Yeah, okay. They're going to disengage and run and flee at this point.
Oh,
These ones are going to do the same, given that they've seen what's going on.
boo.
Okay. With that... Is there anything... Would you like to clean them up? Or would you like to let them run?
War crimes or behaviour elves.
We look at Sudz. I'd say.
We look at Malcom. Sudz isn't a
Yeah,
person.
Malcom.
In game, that is. Like, obviously, testing was
Yeah.
a person
You
in
look.
real
You
life.
look at you look at Malcolm, as he otherwise looks at the Goliaths, and otherwise makes a gesture forward as the Goliaths charge.
Okay.
The rest of you watch as you otherwise look back and otherwise look for approval. He otherwise puts his hand up, just as a general signal to tell you all to stop.
Okay.
Given what's going on, you get the sense that the Goliaths haven't had any chance to prove themselves here.
They want some fun.
And then
We
this
turn up, blast everything, and they're like, oh.
Yes. And for the thematical purpose, you watch as the clan of Mud Goliaths all go into a frenzied rage, charging forward, beginning to carve the orcs down one after another. As even though the orcs are technically the same speed, charging, as Sam you should know, charging is very effective for covering distance.
Charging is definitely not some bullshit super speed.
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely
I can
not.
move double the speed that normal people can. What? That makes no sense. Shh.
It's called charging. But yes.
Charge. Charge.
Okay. With the wrapping up of this, I'll say the Red Dragon taking care of the rest of what's over here. The battle is clean and fairly easy, as the rest of you kind of look around each other and you very much take note of you're very dangerous people. As you look around your spells otherwise glowing in your hands, the feeling of what you've just done, seeing all of this, as Bern, you look across a battlefield and you see hundreds of smouldering corpses, with what lies of boiling flesh otherwise coating a portion of the dust here. And you see the bones otherwise charred and somewhat roiling in the sands.
Nice.
Excellent.
Full.
I'm
I
proud
always
of us,
knew we were
guys.
amazing.
I'm gonna take a head. I'm just gonna take that, cut it off. with
What
my
are the
sword.
troll heads?
Yeah,
Just-
yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Just
Take
bring
one of the
sword
troll
down
heads,
and
you
take the head.
You slice it off and you lift it up. The rest of the military, the army, which was expecting thousands of orcs to clash against them, seemingly are very put off by your surprising effectiveness at this. They turn, and otherwise you watch as the Lizardfolk commander moves up to Malcom, the Goliath charging off and cleaning up the rest of this, and the Tazukis flying back overhead towards Stalagnest. Sasha, as you are probably the only one within earshot, well, you and Elsyan are probably the only two within earshot of this. He moves up, and you watch as he plants his spear in the ground. You've certainly proven yourself of having strong allies. I feel no reason to mistrust you anymore. He does the Barrenland salute of slamming his fist against his chest and bowing his head as he lifts his spear and the rest of his troops begin making his way back. You look around. There are maybe a handful of losses amongst their troops, but outside of that, nothing much else. They didn't get to fight all that much.
Why do I feel like we were bad people for doing really well in this
Is that
war?
good or bad?
I don't think it was so much as bad people. I mean, we reduced the casualties.
True.
I mean, there's reducing the casualties, then there's... We caused massive casualties on theirs, though.
Yep.
And
you cleaned them up, and with the Tazukis and the Goliaths otherwise carving through them, taking them down, there's several thousand of orcs that showed up at your doorstep on doormat to take you out. Seems very few of them survived, and if they did, they're being taken prisoner.
Oh, I should let one go to report back. Hey, 5 guys, 6 guys essentially wiped out our entire army. Let's not fight
That's
there
right.
again.
The burger and fries food chain.
5 fries.
Oh. 5 or 6 guys.
As you otherwise gather yourselves, Malcom, otherwise looking very pleased with the result, he heads back towards Stalagnest. You all kind of look around one another, seeing how effective you truly are as the illusory dragon fades, kind of dissipating into the air above. Some of the orcs very much looking up and going, "What?" The last surviving ones before they get cut down. The air elementals scattering, the trolls smouldering on the battlefield below, as vultures begin to descend, picking off whatever of the boiling flesh is left, taking the charred bones and breaking them for the marrow inside. It's a bloodbath here, as you begin making your way back towards the capital.
Nice.
That was a successful trip out. I only used 2 spell slots.
I only used 1.
I'll get you.
Malcom otherwise looks at the rest of you, and you otherwise head up towards the top of the main chamber where the Queen otherwise sits and resides. You arrive up to the top with the sound of not argument but discussion, relatively loudly. As you enter in, a lot of the leaders here, just from general insight for those of you who have a good insight score, they are put off by your ruthless effectiveness.
Oh no.
Your ability and choice of taking them out doesn't seem to have put them off. Your ability to wipe out this many with 6 of you has made them
Are you saying
feel...
that they're actually... Are they scared of us?
You don't get the sense
As
they're
much as we can.
scared. In terms of how they stand, they feel like they could all comfortably take you in, either not necessarily in one-on-ones, but as a massive group, they could take you guys out. They have no worry about this. What they fear and what they feel is that, and this does kind of sit well, and Elsyan, you and Sasha pick up on this the most, given your natural kind of detection of this sort of stuff. You look around them and you feel as though a divide is happening. If some of these leaders were to choose Malcom as their side, and Malcom were to perform an offensive war against the Queen, a civil war could result in catastrophe with U6 on Malcom's side. Even if it was just U6 versus the rest of them, there would be thousands upon thousands of casualties.
Excellent. Interesting.
They don't
Interesting.
fear you as people, they fear what you'll do if you feel you're not getting what you want.
Give us spell components or we'll destroy your country. No.
That's it. Our negotiations is the Queen has to join us to fight the Prince of Blood, and you'll live.
And
one vial of each of your blood.
And support in taking over the Elven Kingdom.
You otherwise kind of pick this up as Malcom does move up to the rest of this, as he does walk to the center of the chamber. As he stands there, he looks at the Queen at him, and you can sense kind of this staring going on between them as they begin to try and read one another. As she stands from her chair and moves up, none of the rest of them bow or do any of the salute that they did the first time. As she moves forward towards Malcom, lifts the crown off of her head and places it on his. On this day you are Prince of the Barrenlands. I don't need it to rule, and unless you wish to take my place now, I fear no reason for me to return to my seat. Malcom turns and looks at the rest of you before turning and saying, "We have business to attend to. We have a Prince of Blood, or King of Blood, to destroy. And we have more to do here. I do not wish for the throne yet." There is an air of confidence about him as the crown is placed on his head as he stands there. The Queen kind of places her hand on his shoulder. Who supports him now? You watch as, entering back in, the clan of Clay lifts their hand, as does the lizard folk. The Tazuki raise their hand as they did before. The goblins do. You watch as a large number of the clans do, but there are some which don't. The clan of Steel don't. The clan of Horn
will
don't.
die first.
Clan of Horn, little shit. I'm gonna go smack him one. I'm not
One
gonna
of
kick
those?
one.
Clan of Horn is Minotaurs. Clan of Steel is the Steel Dragonborn. The clan of Sand doesn't. And the clan of Fur, the Druids, don't.
Which ones are the Sand?
Sand are the desert giants. And the clan of Fur don't. Which is noteworthy to you, because you remember the clan of Horn, the clan of Fur, and the clan of the Moon raising their fists beforehand as a sign of respect. The clan of Fur has since changed their mind.
Is it because of the war crimes?
You're not sure, but as you look around them, a few of them have lifted them out of respect, a commanding battlefield, minimal losses and maximum damage inflicted. Very well chosen allies. But the ruthless efficiency of slaughtering thousands in what was no more than maybe a 60-second battlefield.
I mean, the dragon was up the entire time. That only lasted a minute.
Exactly.
I had to dispel the dragon. Guys, I think we need to be treated as nuclear weapons?
You're beginning
Fair.
to feel that way, yes. With the tight-packing orcs who charged in a good radius, and yes, your spells probably had a little bit more efficiency than I thought. Which may be a fault of the system.
The system worked fine.
Yeah,
We
keep the
committed.
system.
Yeah, the system is fine.
The system's
We
fine, I
committed
just need to add a few
killing-
extra zeros next time I use this against you.
Yeah, fair.
2,000? How about 200,000? Still blows up half the army with ethereal incineration.
Well, that's just because that's a spell that Infernal has. I presume it's Infernal.
Yeah. Or just make each of the 8 singular units stronger. Anyway, with the effect that you've had here and kind of the general essence of this, Malcom takes this as a note. and turns to the rest of you, kind of nods to the rest of them, and kind of says out, "I'll make it up to the rest of you. Now, if you don't mind, we have some things to sort out now." As he says it with an air of confidence, he turns back to the rest of you, smiles, and kind of giddily moves towards you and goes, "Let's go."
Okay.
Huh.
Fair.
You leave.
What does he mean by "let's go"?
As you kind of make your way down the stairs, he otherwise turns to the rest of you and says, "So, were there any last preparations we needed to do before we fight the King of Blood?"
Well, we need to wait until the King of Blood, and I need to learn all my spells still. Holding up like 5
Yes,
spells.
but we have friends to talk to.
I've spoken to several people. We've been to the Phoenix. I mean,
Yep.
Bern. Did we have anyone else we wanted to go to?
Didn't
Elsyan
Queglod
want to
mention
try and-
Blackhold?
I'll speak to Blackhold. I can't imagine this will be.
Oh.
I can't imagine they'll be willing to offer many troops for something like this, even if it is potentially the fate of the Empire at stake. Nonetheless, I do intend to speak to them. They'll be useful.
Before we head there, could we visit that place again, Elsyan?
Which
Where
place?
they can't
Oh.
spy on us.
Of course, the door should still be in the room.
You return
Head
back to
there
the
first.
room. Just before the kind of earlier hours of midday, you head in. You know you've got about 4 hours left of it, so you've got time. You head up to your rooms, you head inside the door. Moving into the chamber, the atmosphere goes kind of from this heavier atmosphere of the surrounding air, given the rather intense and very quick fight. It shifts very quickly to more of a welcome interior, moving into the kind of the open grassy fields, the tower before you. Farnsworth, as he otherwise nods, welcomes you in before disappearing, given it's still his day off.
Don't worry, there's Farnsworth too.
Before
There's another Farnsworth turns up. There's
There's-
multiple of them.
Okay. Before I
Are
say
they
any of
just
this,
weird simulacrums?
Shush. Infernal. Okay. Bern is talking.
that's fine.
That's my multiple.
That's fine.
Farnsworth is late.
Where'd you head within the tower, I will ask, before Bern?
Where's the safest place to talk?
You spoke previously in
around
the
the
dining
table.
hall, but you know full well that the Dawn Marshal has access to all of the rooms.
Oh,
She's fine. She's dead.
well,
What
where
can
would be the best place, I guess, for a private conversation?
Wouldn't it be back at our place, in our own tower, maybe? If you're concerned about other people listening in.
I mean, like I said, she can't really do anything. She's dead.
Okay.
Not to put too fine.
Queglod, could you check for any scrying orbs that are more powerful than this?
I mean, this is effectively a demi-plane. Like,
If any
Oh, yeah, he said
senses are able to manifest inside the mansion,
Actually,
you'll be able to see them.
Actually, I just thought, Abbott will let us use the demi-plane for this.
okay then, let's go then.
Yes, my bad.
We've got nothing
I'll,
left in the city, do we?
I assume
Not
Malcom
aware of.
is fine with leaving?
You have talked to Rohal, right?
Huh?
You have talked to Rohal, right?
Yes. I have got a request, and I'll refund you for this, but can I go say goodbye to the wife? Like, if we get dragged in to fight Prince of Bloods, I at least want to say goodbye. And let her know what's going on.
Do you also want to have a really tragic talk with your children? You know, the ones you abandoned?
Tell them that you're going to be home even though you're a bad father.
He's just
That
going
moment
out for
when I'm
milk.
I'm sort of looking. Which one do I
You-
hit?
you know
them
what, you know
with?
what,
The axe or
you know
the
what?
sword?
You know what?
Okay,
Let's wait.
hostile creature in my realm, bye-bye.
Let's wait until one of your kids' next birthdays, and then we'll go fight the Prince of Blood, so you can die, and you know
On their
leave them
birthday!
waiting forever.
I am not a bad parent.
Really?
Yes,
Look,
Take it from a
if-
party that knows bad parents. You're a bad parent.
I am not. I worry
Will
about
they let their child run free at like what, 12 years old?
Hmm?
How old was your child?
like. Hang on.
No, I'm talking to Elsyan.
My
Sasha.
child. Okay, right. For one thing, that is not actually
Our
my
child is
child. That
old
is.
enough, post,
It was-
maturity.
He was more of a foreign exchange student, and we just didn't have a child to exchange with them.
And you just let him run free.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is
We're
it
not
was a
going to hold him back.
kidnapping.
No. There's kidnapping, and then there's letting someone stay at our place while they find what they want to do with their life.
Did you even give him any money?
Oh.
Or okay, yeah. So basically, what we did was we picked up your kid, we got him addicted to crystals.
Okay.
Into a
He's
foreign
never
realm.
been, and let him loose.
Yes,
Oh,
but
I
here's
totally
the thing.
forgot. I still have a bag of those.
Wait, you do?
Yeah, I took them off him. Remember?
I can look after that if you want.
No.
No, go away.
Sasha, give me the drug crystal, the magic the crystals.
No,
Give me
Sasha.
the crystals, Sasha.
Sasha,
Elsyan.
as you otherwise reach into your bag to kind of grab them, they're not there.
The little shit stolen the crystals.
Oh. Doing well.
All right, that's fine. That's fine.
Oh.
He's out there
Oh.
in the world doing crystals. I'm sure he's
That-
doing well.
Yeah. Especially magic.
Yeah, I mean, I swear those things were like pure, like magic that they like shat out. So there's a strong possibility that he's just going to make some horrendous bullshit with them.
So you say horrendous bullshit. I say that rat is going to rule the world, and it's our fault.
I'm all right with this.
As am I.
Like, if we have to Asdorn marshals kill him,
I don't think I could.
Oh no, I'd be fine with it.
What?
Sasha, we're trying to win an argument about us being good parents. You're not helping here.
Sometimes
I
you
would
have
kill
to be
him.
willing to make the hard decisions when you're a parent.
Okay, take it from someone whose mother has actually tried to kill him. It's not nice.
Yeah, but I
An actual parent.
We can bring them back, you know. At best, it's like a slap on the wrist.
Sasha? No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. You know what? Next time you lot call me a bad
Bad
parent,
naughty
I'm
children
just
get
gonna
to.
ignore you. after
Bad
this
naughty
conversation.
children.
Okay, right. We are bad parents, but we
Naughty
accept this
children
fact.
get to spend time with Auntie Raven Queen.
God.
Okay, right. Anyway, what was the point of this conversation?
I wanted to
I
go and
don't
say
know.
goodbye to my wife and let
Yes,
her know what's going.
I'll take us there. I'll use my 8th level slot to teleport there.
Okay. Gathering up your things, getting each other ready. You otherwise prepare as you draw the light arcane symbols as they begin to blaze and flare up across your arms in kind of the blue, gold, red, and black flames as all of you are engulfed in this swirling blaze of flame as you disappear from this space and from Stalagnest. You feel the slight weightlessness and warmth as it otherwise crawls across your skin, not damaging or hurting in any way, but warm and clinging, before you all land The dust slightly upturning in the middle of this area. You see around you tents, and several Minotaurs immediately just look your way. A few of them draw weapons as you land amongst them.
It's fine. It's not a problem, it's just us. Talking to the guys that draw the weapons.
They kind of relax a bit.
Does Malcolm have the crown now, by the way?
Malcom does, yes. And I'll let him decide when he attunes to it what he wants to unattune from, so for now I'll say he doesn't know what it does.
I will ask, I mean, since now they're there, where's Talia?
Same place as before?
Okay, cool.
He points in a general direction.
Cheers for that. Alright, I'll head there then.
Okay.
You just see her coming back from the woods carrying carrying like 50 orc skulls.
Oh, it's on there. I have a dragon.
You otherwise make your way towards the tent. Walking through kind of the dusty area around here, you step up to the tent. As you push it to one side and you enter in, you can see that she is currently teaching both of your children some basic common, and seems to kind of just be helping with that as they both get up and run towards you and kind of just grab your legs.
I'm gonna poke my head back out the tent for a second. You lot stay there a second. This is a family conversation. And I'll go in and have my conversation with the wife and kids.
Okay.
Definitely
He's gonna
not
tell them he's
eavesdropping.
gonna go to the store again.
I'm gonna go and get a carton of cigarettes.
Gonna go buy a pack of cigarettes.
Dad, you're home.
I've
It's been
got
10 years. You said you were going to
Oh,
go get
damn it,
cigarettes.
I
Oh, I forgot the cigarettes.
I don't even smoke! Ah!
Oh, man.
Oh my god. Right.
So, you head inside. You see your wife there as she moves forward towards you, kind of warm embrace. You're back so soon.
Yeah, we're about to return to the Empire. Just wanted to drop by and let you know what's going on. We kind of partook in the fight. Well, it was a slaughterfest, let's be honest. So, the caravan should be able to start travelling again soon. And on top of that, yes, so we're going back to the Empire, and we're expecting it's going to be reasonably soon that we're going to get called to fight the Prince of Blood. I'm not going to lie, this is probably not going to be an easy fight, but it's one we have to do. Part of that, pointing to the axe. So,
She.
yeah.
You watch as your kids, who are otherwise still hugging your leg, they're kind of looking up. The older of the two is understanding to a certain degree. The younger of the two is too young to properly understand this. As your wife otherwise looks at you, kind of places her hand on your shoulder. You'll come back, though.
I hope so. Well, I mean...
No. You
You're not-
will
You're
come
not there.
back.
You're not there, Sasha.
I 100% will. I will do everything in my power to return. We've got a plan. We are trying to rally as many allies as we can. We are amassing an army. We are literally giving ourselves the best opportunity. But we have one opportunity. If we fail this, it means disaster not only for our clan and this curse, but potentially the entire empire onwards. So,
You best make
Yes.
it count then.
I definitely will. But when we're done, I will return. We will debrief with the clan's elders, and I'm going to take a little bit of time to just spend some time with you lot. It's been an intense couple of months.
I see.
So, yes. But anyway, looking down, Gareth, Lucy, you look after your mum. Your mum will look after you, and I will be home very soon. I promise. I'm not going to be gone for long.
He lied.
Lucy otherwise kind of hugs your leg. Come back safe, Dad.
I will.
And
I'll bend down and give them both a hug. Pick them up and hug.
Gareth otherwise headbutts you.
Bloody Charles. I love you. Love you too. You take care. And we'll be back soon. I promise.
Okay. You hand off your kids to your wife. She takes the two of them. And you see she smiles at you as you leave. You leave the tent. The rest of your party are all just standing out there with their arms crossed. You see Sasha's otherwise leaning up against the tent. Tried to listen in, but failed.
I'm sorry, my passive perception is pretty fucking good.
Oh, you want to go?
This is thick fabric. I'm sorry.
Okay.
How
Question:
thick?
How many C's, Chris?
It's cavity insulated.
Hold on.
It's-
Let me roll a
it's in a
D100.
tent.
91.
91 C's. Ooh, that's pretty thick. I may be a while. Keep going.
It's some load-bearing fabric right there.
Chris, are you sure that's not just a wall?
What are tents really, but portable rooms?
I mean, you're not wrong, but also that makes me feel uncomfortable.
Alright, well, guys, I think we're good to go.
Alright. I take it went well between you?
Yes, everything's good. I explained what's going on. And
Okay.
we have the best of luck. So, yes, I guess we're free to go. Thank you for that, Bern.
No problem.
Come on, why didn't you ask her to come along? She could have beaten the shit out of him.
Because if something does happen, then at least the kids can have one parent. I say it
Oh,
very
I believe you.
Huh?
Sasha,
Yes, Hmm?
I think Rook's wife is only super effective against Rook.
She knows all of my weaknesses.
Oh, all right, Elsyan. Do you want to fight her?
No, but I don't want to fight anybody unless they're running away from me.
In that tense moment,
Well,
Rook
if you
laughs
own
so
it.
hard. Pats on the back. Thanks for that.
You're welcome. I did commit a war crime today. I'm just saying.
Hmm.
The way
Be
that-
careful how loudly you talk about that.
Yeah.
What war? What? No war crime.
Yeah.
Good
Let's
cover.
go.
Good cover. Good cover.
Yeah,
While he was doing his conversation, I just drew the circle on the ground.
You've been drawing the circle on the ground. You've got the last little bit of chalk, and you're just like waiting for your party to otherwise step in the circle and get ready to go.
I'm gonna usher everyone to the circle.
Okay.
Let's get
Long
in the
enough.
circle.
You move towards the circle and ting, with the last little bit of it connected, the arcane energy flares, moving around, the red and gold energies spiraling upwards as you all are engulfed in a kind of temporary flame which shows an image of where you are headed, as Bern, you step through, being the last one. Where are you headed?
The tower.
Okay. As you all emerge through into Abod's tower, one after another, you appear. Wooden floor below, the Abbot otherwise sat on his large beanie bag to one side, otherwise taking a midday nap. You see a plate of a plate that's devoid of food with a little bit of scraps onto one side. You see various magical devices in the wizard tower as he otherwise his head lifts up and he sees you all arrive. Ah, welcome. Just travelling through, or are you looking for me?
We need to use that.
You.
Point to the demi-plane.
He kind of looks up at the tripod that's in place with kind of the small sphere spiraling on it. I see. He kind of looks at you curiously. Why?
Private conversation.
Very well. You watch as he otherwise reaches up, places his hand on the edge of the sphere, and you watch as the sphere begins to expand into this spherical archway. You see kind of these almost bowed green stone pillars that kind of curve up and around into this circular archway that doesn't look normal. And you see within what looks to be almost this grid of like these thin blue lines on black surface sheets. You can see that it's set up in a tile-like fashion, and the walls begin to almost form and kind of quiver into shape. It's ready when you are. It'll last an hour.
And no one can listen through, I assume.
If you want me to close the door after you, yes, and I'll reopen it in an hour.
That's just fine, yes.
Very well. You might want to check your surroundings first, though. A scry can still carry over.
Alright.
Okay.
I guess we enter.
Oh, I may as well cast Detect Magic before we enter.
Okay, make me a perception check.
Oh, I can do that too, can't I? With a slime? Or can I? What
That is very true, you can. Because
Oh
you've got
yeah,
the
you
slime.
can.
Is anything weird floating around that looks out of place?
Go ahead, make a perception check. What was your total, Queglod?
16.
That was a 16 total.
And Rook?
Mine is 16 perception plus 1, so 17.
16 and 17, okay. You both look around and you're fairly confident that despite the large amount of magical stuff that's in the area, nothing stands out as being out of place here. Okay,
I can't see anything.
I go through.
you all...
Or are we already through?
Okay, you begin to step through. Is there anybody who's not going into the demiplane?
I am.
Nah, fuck it.
Okay. So did you say you're not going in, Rook, or
No, I am.
you are going in? Okay. You all step into the demiplane, kind of stepping in. It moves to a room of complete silence, and it is very eerie at first, as there's no wind, there's no sound of the outside world. As you all step in, the door behind you closes, becoming a...
Did someone drop a marble?
He did. Completely... wasn't me, though. Completely clean wall. It's quiet in here as you look around. Your detect magic's still up. It radiates magic from the inside of here, but you watch as that radiation fades and becomes kind of clean and smooth. Almost non-magical, with a slight ambience of that magical sense, but nothing else. The floor here is a clean black and white tiled floor, small and large in other places, thin blue lines marking out a short, small grid, and the walls otherwise very much creating this box-like scene with what looks to be vertical wooden slats. And that's about all. It's a clean and plain room with nothing to it. And that's where we'll take a quick break. So I think that's a good time for it.
Okay.
Before you begin your little speech there, Bern.
Joyful.
So, we will be back in 3 minutes.
Back shortly.
Yes.
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Listen,
I'll put some music on just so it's not too quiet while we're gone.
Cool. I'm gonna go make a cup of tea.
Let's put Lush World on. That's a nice one. Alright, be back in a moment.
Hi back.
So, okay, so someone can still scry on us here, but it makes it harder, I assume?
You can't
well,
scry across dimensions. However, you can scry on something inside of a demiplane if you know the exact contents of said demiplane.
Oh, there's
So-
no way the Prince of Blood knows.
There'd be no way of him knowing. He can't scry on you anyway because he's in hell. And the only person who can scry on you is the skin scribe. So unless he was scrying on you beforehand, he has no idea you're in a demiplane. So he can't scry on you.
Okay.
Only people who have seen you go in here.
I don't
were-
assume the thing I'm gonna talk about knows the demiplane either.
Yeah, nobody.
Because that would be very
Yeah, nobody you've talked to would know about this demiplane. It's something which only Abod and Green know about, and you guys know about because of what was stored in here previously. Outside
Okay.
of that, you believe that nobody else knows of this thing's existence. So, we're fairly
Well,
secure.
wouldn't the people that stole the stuff inside know?
No, because the contents of the demiplane now contains you.
Okay.
And so the contents of the demiplane has thus changed, thus meaning they can't actually scry on it.
Greetings.
Greetings.
I maketh my return.
You maketh your return.
I maketh my return.
Da 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 da.
Oh no.
Da-da-da-da.
Da 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 da.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Da. Da 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 da. Oh god.
No update from Sudz?
No.
I almost
No.
feel sorry for him for missing this, but
I mean, it meant that I got to cut the fight short in certain ways, so I got to wing the entire system, so that's fine.
yeah.
You probably
And we
killed
got
twice.
to commit war crimes.
Yeah, you probably
Oh,
killed
yeah.
twice as many as I initially planned for you to with half of those spells, but I honestly don't care.
We
Yeah.
step out and we terrify everyone, just going, oh no, these guys have power, we can take them, but they're also ruthless bastards.
Yeah, I mean, looking at how much damage you actually did, I believe it roughly adds up because they were squads of 100 on each of those orcs. So you killing 50 of them with a single cast from one detonation makes sense because of the overlap. So it makes sense that chain reaction wise you would do the damage that you did. The only one which probably did more damage than intended was the Firestorm. But I mean, I'm not going to complain to that. Like at most you probably should have killed like 8 of them per squad, but I mean, oh well.
I mean, we could have done worse.
Not really.
You're right, we couldn't have done. We could have chased them down
I mean-
ourselves to kill them all,
This is true.
and succeeded.
I chased
Welcome
the ones I was chasing down.
You got the trolls.
Yeah.
And there was still a second nuclear explosion Bern could have launched. But...
Yeah, you could have cast it again at 8th level with Twin Spell.
yeah.
Same here for the Firestorm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you all had multiple nuclear options to throw at these things, and you only needed to use the weaker one, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean, looking at how much damage you did, the Firestorm probably did more than I thought it should do. The Ethereal Incineration did as much as I guess it's supposed to. 'Cause, I mean, it's a gamble. If you don't kill the creature, then you don't... then the chain
Yeah.
reaction doesn't happen. So, yeah. And it's not like it's got
That's why I
flat
didn't
damage
want
mod.
to target. That's why I didn't want to target the main trolls because I didn't know how much HP they have each.
They have around 120 each.
Yes, wouldn't have exploded.
So one may not have exploded. So yeah, you
Yeah.
would have had an issue there. But outside of that, it did very well for clearing up anything else because they all had 8 hit points. So
Yeah, true.
doing that damage, it effectively wipes out the weak squad, does significant damage to the others, and then the chain reaction does more damage to adjacent squads. Then they just
Yeah,
run,
because it does 78 and half. Then
which was like 37,
like
37,
37.
no,
yeah,
39 that would have been.
39.
So 39 damage,
then
which
that's
still would have
half
killed
again.
more. And then each of those would have caused their own detonations, which would have stacked up, and then So yeah, you would have done an absolutely horrendous amount of damage, but at the same time, it's something that's just something to take into account for next time.
Yeah.
Are you back,
Nice.
Simon? Nope. So just waiting on Simon's return. Yeah. Bern begins to inspect the crown, and as you're all kind of looking over it, it's an interesting crown to be sure, and the decorations on it are otherwise that of what looks to be a simple weaving of what looks to be bone and grey vines, otherwise peak in 4 different points across the surface of it, each of which has what looks to be a tooth at the top of it, of each spire, and each one a piece of amber and jasper entangled within the vines themselves, kind of around the ring itself, making it a very beautiful crown. But it looks interesting, but it seems to have shrunk since the Queen took it off, becoming more of a circlet than an actual crown.
He's got a tiara. You're quiet.
You're quiet, Ben.
Does it seem like it was upgraded and then downgraded, or?
It seems like it's reset now that its owner has changed.
I wonder if it went back to the Queen, do you reckon it'd go back to fully unlocked again?
Not sure. It's an interesting question.
We should experiment. We shouldn't. Like, at all. But we
Go back to the Barrenlor. Can you put this on again?
You
For
don't.
science.
You don't want it for science.
No. We want it, just not like we're testing. We're smart people. This is an experiment. Elsyan pulls out a notebook. See, I've got a notebook and everything. Now put it on.
So, you're back, Simon?
Mhm.
Okay.
Alright. Let me get my notes. No scrying orb, I assume?
You look around.
See one.
You feel pretty safe.
Good. So, I assume you're all aware of a dragon with 4 bone wings.
Am I?
You assume a
Oh.
lot.
Are we talking about the avatar of the one in Arcathune? Shady motherfucker.
No, the one that's supposed to be dead, called Rengar.
Wait. Okay,
Yeah,
give me
shady
a sec.
motherfucker.
Don't see this.
I remember Elsyan reading about it in a dragon book once, but that's as much as I know.
I don't remember reading about this because it's not in the
Was it
notes
not?
that. No, I don't think I actually read about it. I could
Yeah,
be
well,
wrong.
There was or there was a dragon that was made under him, or something like that.
Did I just?
It's the dragon that the Dawn Marshals fought 400 years ago, I think?
450,
Yeah.
roughly, yeah. 450, 500 years ago.
It's in the mural in Greece place where we fought those things.
Okay.
And as history says, they killed it, but
It
from the
didn't
memories I
stay
saw-
dead.
from the memories of a wall that I saw, it was all an illusion.
You're an illusion. Sorry.
Okay, so what does that mean? for
I
us?
saw the memory of him and all the chromatic dragons standing around watching the fight between the Dawn Marshals and Rengar. And just when they were about to kill him, one of the dragons stopped time and cast illusion magic to make it seem like he died, but they got him out.
Wonderful.
He's not dead, but he's probably not able to come out of hiding or his sleep. But within how many years, Chris? Was it 5 years, right?
Which is this? The last one.
The time which the time window which they said they would probably act in.
Oh, from you hypothesizing?
Yeah.
From now? Within the next 5 years, yeah.
From what I think, seeing as Queglod's parents, you said they worship Rengar as well, right?
That is my understanding, yes.
Well, from what we got from earlier, I think that they're probably thinking of doing something big within the next 5 years. But we should not act on it now, because that might spur them to move faster.
Holy fuck.
So,
Or unholy, as the case may be.
But they had 9 chromatic ancient dragons together with him. Webval was one of them, and he was asked to guard the fortress so the Dragon Knights wouldn't interfere with them.
Correction, 8 including Webval.
Yeah.
okay. So was that the dragon that you saw the eye of, potentially, or whoever it was?
Yes, he gave him an orb. It was a dark black ancient dragon with no horns and with weird wings that had some dripping substance on them.
And this dragon is aware of our existence now after the fight of Webfall.
Quick question. Do all of these dragons have horrific skin conditions?
I don't think so. But
I'm just saying, Webval was scaleless with the ice thingy. This guy's got drippy wings. I mean, look, and like even Ringle Dingle, whatever the fuck his name is, he's got no actual wing skin on his wings. So I think it's just a self-help group for dragons with skin conditions.
Well,
I mean, the blue and the red ancient dragon that were with him looked normal.
Wonderful.
For now.
Right.
I mean,
But it seems like that.
You saw a memory, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, they could look like shit now.
I mean, the last memory I saw was from around... When was it? Like...
The last one that you saw?
The most recent one that happened.
It's hard to
Where
tell
they
how
let
long
you-
ago it was, but given that he was ancient and given the age of that middle memory that you saw, could have been anywhere between 20 to 50 years ago, or earlier. Well, so 50 to 0, depending on how early these events had happened.
Yeah. So they put the Webval there 20 to 50 years ago.
Right. Oh, yikes.
And it seems like the Black Ancient Dragon is the one in charge.
Okay. So...
Well, at least that
But-
explains the Orb of Scrying.
Huh?
At least that explains the Orb of Scrying we found.
Yes. Another thing, the Rengar, which is prescribed in the murals, is like 10 times as big.
Oh.
As what?
In the pictures, the we've seen of him, he's like 10 times bigger than that.
Yeah.
Like a normal dragon.
In the
Okay, I
pictures
haven't-
and murals that you remember, you see the image shows Ringar fighting the Dawn Marshals and the armies that stand beside them, against him and his undead armies. You note that, from what you generally remember from seeing the icon several times throughout your adventures, he is the size of a traditional ancient dragon. What Bern is saying is that he's bigger than that, 10 times the size of an ancient dragon. The most comparable thing would be the meteorite golem.
Oh, sweet Jesus, I was enlarged and walking around on that guy.
He also had a breadth of like 1,000 feet.
Okay. If anyone asks us to fight that, we say no and walk away.
Walk?
Okay.
It's
Right.
not
Teleport.
like being asked
Teleport.
to fight anything.
Go to the other side of the planet and accept our fate.
Live on the
So-
moon.
So we either have to, potentially in the future, have to fight this guy, or find a way of stopping Queglod's parents from bringing him back? Or if he's already back, I guess.
Well,
I'm not sure. It's just a hypothesis. I'm not sure if they know that he's alive.
Okay. So this is something we kind of should investigate into,
Yeah,
without
but we shouldn't-
investigating into.
Yeah, we don't want to make it obvious.
No.
What was it you said that Webvar was guarding?
He was put in the fortress there just to keep the Dragon Knights away, so they don't interfere with whatever they're trying to do. As we also know, the Alliance wanted Webval there just so he can keep the Dragon Knights busy, so they could take over the city, which we now we can look at, Chris. Which is... Where is it?
Huh?
Was it Candrodon? No, it's this here.
Ping again?
The fortress up here.
Oh, the fortress up there. Hold on, let me... Oh, that's right. That one that I've got to find. Hold on. You keep going, I'll find it.
The Alliance wanted Webval to keep them away as well, so they could take over this city, which we stopped. Because we told I believe we told Oregon, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we found out Hurricane, yeah. And they took care of it, I assume?
They reinforced the fortress with greater numbers, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So some things are connected.
Interesting. Okay. Griffin.
But the purple dragon cast illusion magic, and was it the black dragon that cast the time stop, or could I not tell?
You weren't sure who cast it. The fact that you weren't unaffected means that it may have been Webval who cast it. You don't know.
Okay.
You didn't
So
roll
yeah,
high enough
so
to
now
kind of
the
tell
dragon
who was
goes
casting the
right.
magic, but you know that there were multiple layers of magic used for the extraction of Ringar.
yeah. So it was a time stop, but all the dragons could move. Normally?
That
Correct.
sounds dangerous.
Yeah. Because time stopped and then the purple dragon cast illusion magic.
Hmm.
Well-
I wonder if...
Illusion magic isn't something we have to be overly concerned about, but if they're able to time stop and extract it, then that's a big problem.
Hmm. Especially if a time stop is affecting multiple beings at once.
Okay. This is a far out question, but Chris, how long ago was that purple dragon that ran away from that Aboleth's place?
You don't. Roll me a history check with disadvantage here, because this is information that. Were you behold then?
No, it was.
No, you were
no,
Bern.
you were-
Okay.
History, it's a 7 plus 2, I believe.
Disadvantage.
Yeah, that's a 9.
You think back, you can't remember the exact date that it was like mentioned. You know that at some point in history that purple dragon was released, but you also know that it was ancient when it was released. So you don't believe that the purple dragon that was at the scene of that event couldn't have been the same one because it wasn't ancient. It was an adult back then.
Oh, okay, cool. It was Aldurak, the purple dragon. Okay,
Correct.
so it's not the same one.
Not the same one, no.
Okay, good. I mean, bad. Fuck.
Hmm. This sounds like
But
it
yes,
could be.
I thought I should let you guys know. He's not dead. He's just sleeping.
Okay.
Good to know. Fun.
Yeah.
Nice.
Seems to me that the only way we're gonna put him down permanently is to take out these dragons then. Before the confrontation.
Probably. But
Wage war against chromatic dragons.
Yes,
Most of-
let's do that. That's a good idea. Yes, let's put other things on our plate as well.
after we deal with the Prince of Blood.
I
like
think
stuff
that
we
is...
like- Look, this is very important, so we should be aware of it. But also, fuck this shit right now. We'll forget
Yes,
it.
as I said,
We'll
we
deal
have
with it
5
later.
years, probably.
Cool. That's long enough to raise and abandon a child. Isn't that right? Bro.
Sasha, let it go. Let it
Never.
go. Sasha, honey, let it go.
I'm not a fucking Disney princess, Elsyan.
What's
Let
a
it
Disney
go.
princess?
Let it go. I don't know why I'm singing this song. I'm scared.
It's copyright.
Let it go.
Where is this Disney
Copyright.
we talk about? Elsyan?
I don't know. I don't know.
Nice.
Can't
Something
stop singing
about-
anymore.
Yeah, how are you guys making those ukulele noises with your mouth?
Don't know. This demi-plane is weird.
Fair.
Fuck this. I'll
Right.
just leave it there, fine.
Well,
Right,
thank
this
you
conversation
for
is
that
about
information.
20 minutes, so we're stuck in here for another 40. Does anyone want to play a game?
I think we should identify the crown.
Oh,
think-
yeah, we could do that.
How many times can you cast Identify?
I think
Yeah,
we
no.
should let Malcolm decide what he wants to do with the crown.
Probably like
Malcolm
50 or-
Malcolm says he kind of sits there and you can tell he's attuning to said crown.
Well, we'll find out in a minute. If it's cursed, we've got problems.
Okay. Bern, I have a request.
Can I
identify
poke it
something
while
for
he's
me?
attuning?
Now what?
Can you identify something for me?
That would be Sasha's job.
Yeah,
don't-
I
yeah.
identified it.
Yeah, you identify. You appraised it.
No,
yeah.
no, you have Bern
I have a
identify it.
praise. I have a praise.
Yeah, go on, Bern, identify it, Bern.
One of you two. I need you to find out what something does for me. Please.
All right. I pick up a blue medicinal pill. Right. So this is what will give you your third child.
Sasha.
All
you're
right.
supposed
What
to
am
be
I
giving
identifying?
up the pills.
Okay, I'm gonna draw my sword.
Okay.
And give it.
That's a very nice picture of a
Your
sword.
sword?
You
Hold
watch,
on.
you watch as
Yeah.
Rook reaches back and you watch as he pulls this massive blade, almost as large as him, from a scabbard on his back and places it down. It doesn't.
How does your
You
arm
watch-
bend like that?
You watch as the blade itself is covered with this kind of strange, almost astral magic of a deep dark and blue with these kind of white motes of light along its blade edge. As he places it down on the ground, seemingly not damaged, disintegrated, or turning into a wet noodle. So,
When have you been carrying that?
Oh, I picked it up when we last came back to Adamanthia. From the Church of Steel.
I not notice it?
I even used it in the battle.
How?
Wait.
And you want to identify it now?
Yeah.
It's a bit late, isn't it?
Well, he's not proficient in it.
I need to attune to it, but the thing is, I've
All
got
right,
no-
I
Who
identify
gave this
that.
thing to you?
Hmm?
Who gave it to you?
Tashel. Hang on, let me go back in my notes.
Sasha's
Tasha.
just given up
Tasha.
caring at this point and is identifying it. Please send me the info so I can lie to them and make them think it shoots out dicks or something.
Sasha.
For that reason and that reason alone, I'm posting it in the Dawnseekers instead of sending it just to you, because you'd optionally lie to your party about what it does.
Rude.
I mean,
This is a cool
you've
weapon.
met Harlan, right?
Oh,
No, I have, but before he used to just keep it secret and then tell people actually what it does, and now he's saying he'll tell them that it shoots dicks out of
He's
his sleeve.
being a dick about it.
Yeah, I know. So
He's
for that
just
reason, I'm not giving it just to him. Rune Waker. A large haft blade decorated with platinum gilding across the myth-arc blade. The edge is coated with mystical runes carved in giant. This is a +2 haft blade. While attuned to this, you can activate one of its abilities. After doing so, you cannot activate any of its other abilities until you finish a short or long rest. Blazing Rune. When you hit a creature with this weapon, you can invoke the fire rune to deal an additional 2d6 fire damage to the damage, and the creature must make a strength saving throw of DC 17 or become restrained by fiery chains for 1 minute. While restrained, the creature takes 2d6 fire damage at the start of each of its turns and can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns. Dusty Rune. As a reaction, or invoked as a bonus action on your turn, you gain a +2 to all of your saving throws against magic for 1 minute. An Endurance Rune. As a bonus action, you can invoke the rune to become resistant to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing for 1 minute.
Very useful.
Mm.
I do want to attune to this, but it's a difficult one. I've got the gauntlets, which, you know, obviously part of my story and I need. And I've got...
Your axe.
No, I'm not attuned to that.
not attunement.
Oh,
No.
No, it's not
Uh,
attunement because it's cursed. So for him, it doesn't need
Oh, nice.
attunement.
Where is my list of attuned stuff?
hold on.
It's in your equipped tab on your right hand side.
Yeah,
Oh, right,
I am
yeah.
going to be.
Range.
I have...
This thing is going to be
Guys,
eaten by his axe
hold on,
at some
hold
point.
No, I've got my belt of strength that I need, obviously. I mean, this thing's bloody heavy. I can't even wield it without the strength. And the cloak of smothering. So I really don't have an option.
Wait, why do you need the cloak of smothering?
I just like it. It looks nice.
Well, surprisingly, fuck that. Anyway, I'm just
Even be.
copying down all of these runes so I can research them later, so I can make things with the blazing rune.
You'll need to
I'm
take
gonna-
levels in fighter before you can do that.
I mean,
I
you can
will-
take it down. You can
I
knock
will
down.
bring
Yeah, that.
the sword and
Oh.
reshoot it.
As you
Also,
otherwise
why do I need?
look at them,
What?
Sasha, this isn't a method of enchantment. This isn't a method of crafting. This is something specific and unique.
I know it comes from the Alliance.
This is something that you don't know how it works.
You can, like, draw the runes, right?
You can, but you don't necessarily know if it will hold its power.
Yeah, it's something to work with later. But also, that's bullshit, and you know it.
But
Why?
I suspect it's something that requires a particular mindset.
If this thing's been made, then
Yeah,
Just,
it's
Harlan,
Rune Knight.
stop arguing with the DM.
Yeah, it's Rune Knight. Items that have runes on them cause certain effects.
Okay. Right. Well, thank you for that. Anyway, I will put this back and I'll try and work out what I'm gonna do.
Appraise it tomorrow and see what else it has.
I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Don't have it prepared right now.
That's not a problem.
I guess now we wait for Malcom to finish a tuning.
Okay. He finishes attuning. I'll assume he unattunes from one of his items. You watch as he otherwise has the crown on its head. You watch as it otherwise clings to him, kind of the vines wrapping around and weaving around his horns and through his hair. As it otherwise settles on his head. He kind of looks around at the rest of you.
Trying me to, do the old magic voodoo on that to find out exactly what it does, or have you kind
Oh,
of
I
got
already
it?
know what it does. I've
Oh,
attuned
cool.
to it, and I have my own casting of Identify. And you watch as he lifts up the glove.
Nice. Cool. Do anything cool?
I can make Shattercrest bigger.
That's
Oh,
pretty good. When you say bigger, do you mean like older or like just
No,
bigger?
just bigger, but also a lot more resistant to magic.
Yeah, that's nice. Do you think
Good to
Shattercrest
say
will be ready
magic
to do
resistance.
the old murdering when we get to old Bloody Waddy?
I don't want to take Shattercrest with me. I don't know how Heartstop works, but Shattercrest is still young.
Fair.
Or wild
Don't blame you.
specifically.
I wouldn't take Gabby. I understand.
That's your griffin, right?
Yes.
Bern, you said we have a few years yet until.
Yes.
Well,
Your father said somewhere around there. Well, he said soon, but I'd assume it's somewhere within 5 years.
soon is a very relative term, particularly for people like them.
They are immortal after all.
Well,
Have you considered well, he's sleeping currently, right?
He's dormant. He probably can't use his power.
The question becomes,
John?
we need to find a way to either make that dormancy permanent or so what sort of weaknesses?
What was that
Yeah.
noise?
Oh, that was the universal sign for, slitting the throat, killing the donkey, spanking the
Monkey?
banana into mush.
I haven't heard that one.
Killing him. How do we kill him?
With a knife.
I assume in the vision they just kind of killed him, right? Chris?
Yeah, but the permanent like.
What was that, sorry?
The vision they just kind of just like normally bonked him to death, right?
Bonk him
Oh.
to death.
Yeah, from what you can tell, they showed up and they used their weapons and otherwise went to try and take him down, using their magic, using their powers, using the artifacts. But
No.
Is that what you mean, or are you referring to something else?
Yeah, just
Yes, I asked how do we kill him? I assume that's just
With
how.
Ringa?
Well, no, I mean,
Yeah.
like
The only
they-
thing which you do note from remembering the battlefield, I'll say roll me a general intelligence check for this. And given it was a recent event, it won't be with disadvantage, so just a flat intelligence here.
Do I wanna risk it?
It's up to you.
yes.
Alright.
Wow, that was easy.
Okay. Okay. Went down by 2.
Well, I'm down by
Oh
1.
dear.
Okay.
Oh wait, my intelligence is +2, so 13.
13. You sit there and you think about it. The only thing which you take note of is that Ringar didn't seem to fear any of them other than the Dawn Marshals. From what they were doing, from the battle there, you saw the tail end of it, the infantry charging. You saw siege weapons had been destroyed, you saw the battle was already smouldering with corpses. A huge battle had taken place, and a lot of the general minions had already died. But Ringar didn't seem to care about the numbers, he only cared about the Dawn Marshals. You don't know the exact details of it, but something about the Dawn Marshals scared him, but everything else, every other warrior there on the battlefield, regardless of how strong or weak they were, he saw them as insignificant and unnecessary.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. The only ones that can kill him is probably the Dawn Marshals. I assume we can as well, unless we're not chosen.
Unless they had something
Neodal
special
might be
they
more.
did. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we could ask her. She probably would know something.
Interesting question. The point I was trying to get at was they killed him, but he's not dead. He's
Because he got
dormant.
teleported out the way.
The other dragons interfered, yes.
Okay. Do we have a way to stop that from happening again? Other than just killing those dragons. I mean, I'm fine with killing those dragons, but, well, frankly, we almost lost Elsyan multiple times with Webpal.
Yeah,
Is there a way of
left me alone.
countering a time stop?
Time Stop is a magic none of you have really experienced. Some of you getting close to it at this point are beginning to kind of understand how to unravel this kind of magic. But even still, this is of a level of magic that none of you are familiar with. If there is a countermeasure, you don't know.
Yeah.
About the only thing I can think of that would work would be already having anti-magic sphere or anti-magic field up, and then going into it.
Counterspell.
It have its own problems.
I mean,
Yeah.
Counterspell.
We can see them, or they're within range.
How the fuck does time stop work with anti-magic?
Oh.
Here's the thing, with Time Stop it stops all time. Given the nature of it being a higher level than anti-magic, I would say it otherwise overrides it in the nature of the spell.
Well,
Because
I'm
then
not sure.
because then
Because
that
anti-magic
asks-
just stops all magic.
That's true, but if that's
Yeah.
the case, if there's any anti-magic anywhere in the world, Time Stop can't work, which defeats the point of the spell. Because it stops all time. And you can't have one section be separate from that, because then that gets weird, because it means you get a time stop by being in an area of anti-magic.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Yeah.
but due to the nature of it, in theory it would go straight through the anti-magic, and there's nothing that can be done there.
Yeah.
Because the very fabric of time,
yeah.
if it's magic
I
and
mean-
anti-magic doesn't work, theoretically casting anti-magic would therefore stop your own time and prevent you from doing anything.
I mean, if they're stood in the anti-magic sphere and trying to cast time stop,
then it wouldn't work because you're within a range that would stop it. But if they're outside of that area and they cast anti-magic or they cast time stop, the anti-magic wouldn't do anything.
Interesting point. Time stop only stops the time for creatures.
Correct.
So it's not actually stopping
Anyway.
time.
Ultimately, this is
yeah,
a problem that we don't have to solve yet.
Yeah.
This is just, we've got warnings that there's other stuff we need to be worried about after we've dealt with Bloody.
Yeah.
Aye. Right. Well,
Bloody
shall we
bitch.
head
Bloody
back
bitch, that's his name.
or is there anything else we needed to discuss?
Also, time stop only has 1,000-foot radius. Sort of.
Anyway,
Again, this is a
Sorry,
spell you
I'm
don't
just-
understand, so don't look up the descriptions of the
Yes.
spell.
Look,
Dust,
I'm a DM as well. This is generally something I
Crap.
want to
Harlan,
look at how it works.
now it's
Out
not the
of
moment.
session then.
Okay. So, well, what's our plan now?
I've got spells to learn.
Well, Queglod wanted to go to Black Hole, but I can't take us there right now.
No, that's fine. We can begin working on getting in contact with our allies tomorrow. But while we have this time, it does seem like the only solution to this time stop problem is going to be to take out that dragon.
Look,
Before we
I'm not sure which one cast it, though. That's the problem.
That is the problem. But unless one of you feels incredibly confident on a spur of the moment counterspell.
Mm.
I don't think it's a good idea to put all of us hope on that. And the only
Depends on-
preparation
It depends on.
we can make ahead of time is
Also depends if they're close enough.
exactly. So we're going to have to do some research and figure out.
Yeah, we don't want to make it obvious that we're researching it, though.
No. Nor do we want to make it obvious that we're hiding.
Yeah, we want to know. We want them to think that we have no idea that he's alive. Because I don't think they know my ability to look at memories.
There may be a way to figure out what's going on with this group of dragons without them knowing why we're looking in.
I mean, they know we've taken care of a vault. They don't know if it's us, or I don't know if they
And
saw.
they should know that we know. We
Yeah.
look directly into that scrying sphere.
It only saw you and Elsyan, I believe.
Me and Malcom.
Or me and Malcom. Yeah. So they don't know about me.
Not necessarily.
They only know you two, and they don't know the reason why you killed Webwall.
It's difficult to know exactly how much they've been spying on us before now. I would hope not much.
Don't think they should have been.
I can't think of why they would have a reason to. And
I
from
don't-
now on, it should be a lot harder for people to spy on us without our knowing.
Fair. Okay.
Webval's lair is going to be somewhere to head back to. We didn't have enough time to be far away last time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How long was that going to take, approximately? To clear out?
On estimate, if you were going to be spending time melting all of the ice, if you're going to be using Malcom in White Dragon form, he can cut through the ice fairly easily and he can get out a large chunk of it in probably about an hour. So to clear out the entire thing, all 3 layers and the entire horde, would probably take you 2 to 3 days.
We could probably get help from the Church of Steel.
Yeah.
They talked about different equipment that could be used, so they must have some idea and knowledge into doing this.
The only issue there is the limit of teleportation, how many people you can take with you.
Yeah, with teleport, I can take 20 people.
20?
Well, it's 10 each, right?
Huh?
Up to 8 willing creatures. So, yeah,
Oh, okay.
16.
Think teleportation. So.
Yeah, I was like 20 total.
So,
That's
I was thinking
Yeah, I thought it
teleportation
was,
circle,
teleport
but you
was 10
can
people, sorry.
teleportation circle. You can justifiably fit 20 people onto a circle.
yeah, because you can justifiably get a lot more because it's 6 seconds. So you can have everybody hold their action, and provided they're all running in, you can justifiably get about 60 people through. The only
Okay,
problem
I'm not
then is
gonna-
the other side, creating a pile. So
Okay.
So with teleport, I can get 16 people.
But I mean, that is an option that is potential. If we did need any help, they seem to have an idea. But yeah, so it's not something that is set in stone or they agreed to. They just want some dragon bones themselves. The Church of Steel. That was the fee that I'm paying for being able to have this sword. I said I'd let them have some bones.
Is there any reason you wanted that sword?
Well, I was talking to Tashel about it, and I remember in the vision that the soothsayers, or with the soothsayer, that the axe kind of reforms or it kind of disintegrates. I'm not too sure if it's going to turn into a new axe or if it's just going to completely disappear. And if we're going to go and fight the Prince of Blood, after she said about it, I thought, I don't want to be there without a weapon. I'd like to have a weapon, so I have this as a contingency. So to say.
Fair point.
Like that, but I mean, I feel it's a little bit neglected because no one can wield it Only one person could wield it, and that was obviously the champion of the Church of Steel, Nagriel, but he didn't like it, he found it too wieldy. It's too heavy for most people. So, no, I thought I'd give it a whirl. I quite like it.
Oh, that's fun. I assume you'd still be using the axe, though.
Oh, I'm going to be using the axe for the fight. This is for... yeah, this is for if it goes awry and my axe does disintegrate and I've got no weapon, I've got the sword.
If your axe disintegrates, we're in bigger problems.
Well, not really. I mean, if its purpose is solely to kill the Prince of Blood, and I kill the Prince of Blood and the axe breaks,
Oh, right, yes.
it served its purpose. But that does mean I'm going to be there in the middle of a fight with no weapon.
I mean, if the Prince of Blood dies, I think
dead. Yeah.
yeah, the battle is kind of over because the skin scribe is probably can
True.
take care of everything.
It's true, but I want
But
to make sure at least I can.
it's a fair
protect
point.
myself.
That's why I said,
It's
at
still
some point,
better.
Rook will need a weapon again at some point.
I don't much fancy getting into fisticuff fights with spider people.
Have you heard of monks? You should become one if you lose your weapon.
I think I'm good. I prefer heavy hitting stuff, not my fists.
Your fists aren't heavy hitting?
Well, they are, but nothing says wow like a big axe or a massive sword.
I mean, they
You
do.
know,
They do
Fireball.
flat 8 damage at this point.
True.
Like, it's
But
not
no,
bad.
Elsyan does with the sword.
But no, I like my sword. I like my axe. But I thought I'd have a contingency plan. But yeah, I needed someone to identify / appraise it because I have no idea what it really does. Not until I can wield it properly.
Fair enough. Anyone else have any information they need to say? Or
Other than the usual, we're gonna fight the Prince of Blood. We're all going to die. Oh, I need some blue quartz, but
blue quartz.
anyone have some to hand? Elsyan flaps the cloak a bit.
And
I went, Chris.
we go to
I went to like exchange some of the money that goes to a tavern for iron.
Mm-hmm.
Did they have any blue quartz that they mined?
Do you mean in the ether or?
No. When I went to borrow some iron from the mine, because they give some of the stuff to us, right?
Yes, this is true.
Have they mined any blue quartz?
They mine mostly metals. It is a metal mine down there. And last time you went down there, the only thing that's really stood out was the giant mushroom biome. Outside of that, there wasn't anything else down there. There was the Illithid city, and then there was the areas around. There wasn't crystal. Crystal you only really know of is the crystal cavern down south, which you know is mostly kind of large chunks of useless quartz with some denser pockets of actual valuable quartz kind of mixed in, but they're harder to find.
That's where we.
Couldn't we buy some from there?
They're a military city. They don't mine it.
Oh, I didn't
Is
know
there a
they
mining
shut it in.
city? Which
Yeah.
mining cities are there?
There are mining cities, and the bastion that used to be down there where the Venacious Horror is, or was, Tower Keen, used to be a mining city. However, unfortunately, due to the various attacks of the creatures inside, they became a military city. It became an outpost with a lack of mining to do. Since you cleared it out, they have started back up, but they're in no means good shape for mining stuff at this point.
Any others?
Outside of that, from what you know of the Empire, go ahead and roll me, I'd say, a history check for this. I'd say anybody who is an Empire kid can do the same. So that would be Sasha and Sasha.
I'm an Empire kid. Non-performing SMP.
Is this
Yeah.
history? Yeah,
History,
18.
yeah.
by all rights, would this come under stone cunning?
Quartz is technically a stone.
Nice.
I'll allow it. But I'll only say instead of the expertise, you just get proficiency because it's trying to remember where the stones are, rather than what they are.
Alright, so that's like...
With the plus proficiency.
+4.
Plus 4, 15,
So
and...
15.
Bern?
18.
18. As you kind of think about it, Sasha, you being previously in the mountains near Voradun, most of around there was metal, but you know that there was a city or a small town known as Lotalen, which is just to the north of where your smithy was, which does mining operations in the area around Arcathun, mostly underground, and it is a dwarven area. You also know that around the area where the meteorite golem struck is a dwarven town known as Highgate. Highgate being a similar mining outpost, but it's a larger and more militarized one that you know was after the meteorite. And from what you remember, they have a large portion of the mountains to themselves. They are dwarves, and you don't know what family owns it, but they typically keep themselves to themselves, and so on. One that you've all passed through, which as it's kind of thought about where do they do mining, Aurum Anchor is a mining place where they do basically pit jumping and rappelling down the side of Aurum's Anchor, or Aurum's Ravine, sorry, to look for dense pockets of minerals and crystals and ores which have been exposed as a result of the atrocity that happened there.
And death? They're looking for death, right? Because
This
that's
is
what
also
they're going to
true.
get.
So, in terms of where it is, Adamanthia focuses where it has been mining previously. It mostly focuses on the surrounding metals. Adamantine previously, which has since dried up, and now they work in iron, steel, and other similar metals. Outside of that, there isn't anywhere which really focuses on crystal. The only one which used to is Towerkeen, Aurum Anchor might, and Highgate might. You don't really have good ways of getting to any of those, with the exception of Aurum Anchor. And obviously using teleport to get to Towerkeen.
I can teleport us where the meteor golem was.
This is true. Oh, and also, all 4 of the dwarven cities which you've travelled to before, with the exception of Drakenforge. You've been to Kraganvor, Relical, and Bern, you've been to Magma Reach. So all 4 of these cities being dwarven cities also specialise in this sort of thing. And
Nice.
Actually, Queglod, if you could roll me a history check as well, please.
Sure.
Turns out Black Hole has a side business.
Total?
Which I believe is +7.
15. From what you've said, Harlan, yeah, Black Hole doesn't necessarily specialize in mining crystals, but they use crystals, so they must get them from somewhere. And you know that Black Hole is a very self-centered kind of hidden laboratory within the mists. They don't like to interact with outside forces, which means they must get them from somewhere.
Oh, I will say I've got to be heading off fairly soon.
That's fine. Just want to know where you're going to be headed next.
My vote is for somewhere that I can get these crystals so we can start like getting.
Yeah,
Lapis Crescendo.
I mean, we're gonna be getting to Black Hole anyway, so.
So if Black Hole's an option, that's a good shout.
Mhm.
And I'm fine waiting a little bit, but I do want to get Lapis Crescendo up a bit at least.
Yeah, no, I get that.
That's fair.
I'm also going to be like using Forge Storm whenever possible to be forging stuff, like just helping out in the smithy in the tavern for any free time we get. Chris.
Okay. I mean, at the moment, because you've arrived home just past midday after the fight, probably spent an hour. You've spent about an hour in here. You've discussed various matters. You've probably got about 4 hours, 5 hours left of the day before you got to like start winding down stuff, eating, talking, and discussing your next move.
Yep.
Then resting, and then waking up the next day for some more stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, any and all free time will be spent on getting used to Forge Storm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Way I see it, worst case scenario, we go to Black Hole. They can't help us. We can just use the teleportation circle back to Adamantia and then head to Aurum Anchor, and that should be at least that's like 2 of them we can get to fairly easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could also get to Oregon as well. But
Yeah.
probably don't have any.
No, but I can sell my dragon blood there.
I can teleport us to Dwarven City where you got your dragon axe.
Oh, that is true. That might be helpful.
You do know that Oregon, as much as it doesn't do mining for anything outside of metals, it is one of the centers of commerce.
Yeah, true.
So it would probably sell something. You know that there was a jeweler's stall there. You went straight past it, so it's possible you'd be able to get large quantities of jewels. Quartz is one of them, so as it is a gemstone, so it would fit.
And we get to see Gavin of the Gate.
Oh.
I mean, that's enough reason alone. Let's go. Why are we still waiting for the airplane?
Yeah, the blue quartz is just on the side, Gavin of the Gate. So that's where we were going.
That's where we're going. See
Gavin
that delightful man.
Got it. Everyone get ready to run a train on Gavin.
Sasha, get your mind out of the gutter.
Oh, please. Your mind was in there since last week. I heard you mumbling in your sleep.
You're very warm and cushy, just remember that.
Nice.
No, it's fine.
Oh, look, the door is open. Let's go.
Gavin of the Gate is on the list, right?
I like how Elsyan and Sasha just make the entire party uncomfortable with sex talk.
Also, so far, Gavin of the Gate has taken 16 points of psychic damage because his name has been mentioned cross-plane by you lot. So.
No, don't do that.
Wait, if he's just a guard, don't they only have like 8 health?
He's a guard captain, so he's got like 30. So he's got another 14 hit points before he falls unconscious.
Someone's name is mentioned in a demi-plane, they take psychic damage? Prince of Blood, 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 Prince of Blood.
No, it works just for Gavin because you're obsessed about him.
I am not obsessed.
I'm fairly obsessed with the King of Blood. It's got to be said. And remember, you've got to say King of Blood now.
Right, yes, yes.
I doubt King of Blood is his true
Hey,
name.
Elsyan. If he wasn't a murderer, would you fuck the King of Blood?
No.
We're leaving. I'm off.
No, okay, Sasha.
Guys,
We can tell Abba to lock them in.
Okay, Sasha. Fuck, marry, kill. Prince of Blood, Blind Butcher, Skin Scribe. Go.
Ooh.
Okay, while you're having this conversation, the door opens, the rest of your party leaves,
We are saying this while we're walking out. Sorry, Harlan, I didn't get your answer. I want to make sure we could leave.
Fair.
Not allowed to leave, not after that. As you...
Can you tell? I've been drinking slightly.
I see.
Only a bit.
Okay. See, that's really difficult because, like, the way I see it, the Blind Butcher, whilst that would be a bad time, he's also very loyal.
This is
I
something
wasn't
you
actually
can talk about
asking
out
for
of
answers.
session another time. Is there anything you wanted to do to finish up before you finish up the day, take a long rest so that Bern can start teleporting you elsewhere?
I don't have time, unfortunately. I gotta go. But
No.
sorry for making everything terrible. I have no regrets. Bye.
Bye.
You should do. Bye. You should have some.
Me and Rook can go have a spar if he wants.
Yeah, sure.
Elsyan will learn more spells.
Okay. Elsyan, you study. Queglod?
How many hours?
Me and Rook go have a duel with our new weapons.
I'd say 8
Yeah,
actually
I'll
because
have
of
a
your
duel.
long range. No, because of your longer rest
In the
thing.
basement.
Go.
Got an arena down there.
Tell you what, I'm going to make a medallion of Hex. I think
Ooh,
that sounds like it would be useful.
interesting.
Something to check because this occurred to me after I finished making the fly one. How a concentration spell is going to actually interact
The
with this.
person who uses it is the one concentrating.
Awesome. That makes the most sense.
Yeah. If you wanted the concentration to be absolved on the item would have to be non-consumable.
Yeah, that's which would make it much harder to make. Yeah, it makes more sense to make these cheap and easy.
Okay. So yeah, me and Bern are going to go down into the fighting pit.
Okay.
Do you want to go to the churches still? You're cool, dude.
I mean, your sword is very big. I don't think the fighting pit down there is gonna fit.
How big's the one down there?
The fighting pit downstairs. I mean, you've got the tile for it, and so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
about 25 feet across ish, maybe like 15 by 15, because obviously these walls will be slightly closed in. So 15 by 15.
Yeah, let's
So
go to the Church of Steel and fight.
Yeah.
okay.
We're gonna go to the bar in the Church of Steel.
Okay. You head outside again, same kind of weather. It's rainy and cold.
Rain.
You
Because I'm worth it.
you make your way over to the Church of Steel. It's been a day since then, so you otherwise head over. There's no one fighting outside in the rain. Do you want to do this out of session? Like genuinely have a fight against the two of you? See how it goes?
Sure.
Alright. We'll either do that at the beginning of next session if I forget, or we'll do it during the week at some point. As you two go ahead and spar, fighting one another and otherwise testing out your new weapons against one another. You fight to a glorious end as Nagriel otherwise watches, asks for more information. You give it regarding your planned leave to dealing with the Prince of Blood. With that, Elsyan spends some time working on spells, getting 8 hours in and kind of sitting down, watching, testing and reading, making sure he's getting everything down. Queglod is otherwise sat in her enchanting room, taking various ingredients, using them and marking down the symbols on the surface of the table, taking medallions and imprinting magical energy into them, creating these kind of small yet dense magical balls and beads and medallions to throw, creating spell effects. You otherwise spend this time doing so with the sound of Sasha hammering away at the various metals in the forge opposite your chamber. And Malcom spends time meditating, sitting down inside of his herbalism area, kind of picking up on the various herbs. As you each go to rest, going to sleep for the night, you all feel fairly comfortable. The rain on the outside, the the wind howling against the edge of the windows, as Elsyan.
Oh no.
You begin to rest, and as you sit down and think and feel and begin to understand and listen, you get a strange sensation. Not quite a dream. Almost a nightmare coming across you. And elves don't have dreams or nightmares. You sit there and this troubling vision almost crosses your mind, twisting and contorting, as you can feel it coming across your form. You sit there, you end up sitting up straight. As your eyes shoot open, you end up feeling your hand crunching against the knuckles on your other hand. Sasha lies next to you, but you still feel uncomfortable. Something isn't right.
Oh god, okay. Oh boy, this isn't good. That's all I got?
That's all
Sorry?
you get. Something isn't right.
Something isn't right. What's that? So I'm flagging about, as you might imagine.
That's fine. You look around the room, you kind of clutching your fist and otherwise crunching it. Something isn't right about your resting. You aren't able to rest. You meditate, you think, you puzzle over things in your mind, keeping it going, but not enough to keep you concentrated. You feel uncomfortable. You feel your body almost breaking out in a cold sweat as you sit upright in your bed, just almost paranoid, looking around.
I'm gonna try to make a perception check around the room.
Go ahead.
Just see. Okay. That is a 22.
You look around the room and you feel fairly safe and secure, and as you're kind of glancing over, you look and you see that the music's a bit too intense. Hold on.
You look and see that the war has broken out on your bedside table.
As you look over, you kind of peer around the room, you see the book, you see the lapis crescendo at the end of the bed, you see the armor, the forge storm. And you look up and you see something. Your eyes catch it for but a moment as you see movement as your door is slightly open.
Okay. Elsyan is going to pull on his robe. He's going to step out of bed, pull on his robe, and go have a little look.
You gingerly cross the room. You kind of push open the door as it ever so slightly creaks. You look out into the hallway. No one there. Yet your heart begins to race. You can feel it almost pulsing in your ears as you look around the dark interior. The lights are out. There's nothing here, it seems.
There's no sign of movement from the other rooms, like someone's messing with me.
You look over at the other rooms. Their doors are closed, all of them.
And I definitely would have heard if anyone tried to shut them.
Correct.
This isn't right. Oh, fuck. Okay. Okay, right. Elsyan is thinking.
Oh.
I would have all the same spells that I have prepared because I haven't finished long rest, have I?
Not yet, no.
So, okay. Well, as it's obviously, as Elsyan obviously can't sleep, he is going to, or can't meditate. He's going to go back to his room and going to cast Find Familiar.
Okay. You sit down at the...
Actually, I believe I haven't dispelled my familiar. I just keep forgetting he exists.
No, he's still around.
Okay, I'm gonna send like him through through the tavern, just to see if it can see anything.
Okay. You otherwise kind of cast your hand out, and almost appearing out of dust, you watch as your kind of winged cat lands and crawls across the edge of the banister.
I didn't think you let me have the wing cat.
Well, with the nature of it being a fey familiar, it actually fits quite nicely.
Fair enough. Okay.
So,
yeah, I've got to trust him.
It otherwise wanders across the banister and looks around. Go ahead and make me a perception check. With the familiar's perception, I believe it has a +5.
Yes.
Due to the winged cat stats.
Yes. Let me just get up there stats properly, because I still thought I was only having the falcon.
+5, yes, I was right. Tressim, right?
Tressim, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's two stat blocks, but they're both the same stat block from different sources.
Yeah.
Right, that is only an 11.
Okay. It looks around, and as it otherwise crawls across, you look around. You don't note anything. And then there's kind of this sudden bustle of wind, and you watch as the balcony window shoots open. Otherwise, battering on either side, a gust of wind rushes through, and you feel your familiar almost kind of shiver and move back as your door swings open slightly as the wind rushes through. And you can hear the howling of the wind outside as it rushes through past your door.
Okay, right, that's it. Not sane enough to deal with this on my own. Sasha, wake up! Wake up, you snoring mad person!
Okay.
You know what? Rook, you wake up! You're conscious! Sasha can't wake!
It's next to me, isn't it?
You-
So he's like banging on the wall.
As you reach down and place your hand on Sasha and kind of shake her awake, your hand slips, almost as if it's slick. And as you pull it away, you see this reddish liquid across the surface of your palm. You panic as you go to reach for her, and you watch as you turn Sasha over, you see her face, no eyes, mouth agape, blood pouring from both.
Shit. Elsyan's going to take his wand, going to use the the enemy detection thing on it.
Okay. You reach
To
down, and as
guide-
you pull your wand up to detect enemies nearby, you feel the air around you grow still and stagnant. The wind of the howling outside as you hear the slamming of the doors on the balcony. You feel a strange pain inside as the door swings open, as you watch as a hand is currently gripping a dead cat familiar in its hand. As it lets go and drops, as you see the face of your mother standing in the doorway, hand outstretched towards you, and a single bead of an enemy before you. And that is where we will end tonight's session.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I know this. Sam knows this is an illusion, but I think Elsyan thinks this is real, in the way that you think nightmares are real, but no, they're not. In that weird way.
We'll have to see. So,
No, because you wouldn't just kill Sasha off like
For
that.
the stream.
But still.
true. So, for those of you watching, either on YouTube or the Twitch side, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and we will be back next week, where hopefully we will have a Malcom, and he'll get to maybe try out his stuff, and we'll see where this story goes. So, thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Bye.
I am so unhappy.